mate. Nice high toss.
Yeah.
Your call, mate. Yep. Tails. Good one. Tail. Tail it is.
Some indecision there. Not quite sure, but Goddard wins the toss. Interesting. The 5 players coming in for the Cats tonight have played a total of 917 games. Impressive, Tom.
It's a pretty impressive group, and they've played a lot of football together. To see Joel Corey, one of those inclusions. He's one of the spiritual leaders, if you like, of the footy club.
That's 2 more than Lee's goal tally, but we'll come to that a bit later. We'll give ourselves about half an hour to discuss that. Let's go down to Richo.
Thanks, Dennis. Well, we all remember last week the big clash of heads between Joel Selwood and his brother Adam over at Patterson Stadium, and it looked fairly innocuous at the time. Joel got straight back up and didn't look to be in too much trouble to me. There's the big talking point. Absolutely nothing in that. But then, have a look at this photo the Cats have posted during the week. Have a look at the size of the egg on Joel Selwood's head. So it just shows you how tough this guy is. I'm pretty sure that he'll put his head over to the centre bounce, though, in a few seconds' time.
Still eligible, I'm told, to win the Brownlow. There was some indecision early in the week as to whether he was or not. I read that he wasn't, but he is, we're told.
Can you imagine, Dennis, how beaten around his eyebrows are going to be at the end of his career, because he just puts his head in all the time and he just gets whacked. He gets a bit of a cut every second week.
Well, I think they actually have the pre-made bandage ready to go for about quarter time. Just wrap it straight up.
With his brother as well. That was quite remarkable. It was human interest stuff, wasn't it? Settling it with Mum's chicken soup is not going to get it done anymore. The AFL stepped in, said, we'll make the soup. Stevie Milne.
Just as they're actually settling in, Joel Selwood's pushed out to the wing, not in the centre square. That's unusual. No Selwood, no Johnson in the centre square for the first bounce. That's an unusual setup.
Umpires tonight, Donlan, Rosebery and Meredith. Friday night football is rolling. McAvoy goes up, taps it down. Taylor Hunt had it, lost it. In goes Del Santo. He's pushed to the ground. It spills out the back. Geary, an emerging player, sends it down towards the half-forward line for his side. Getting very high in the air was Josh Hunt. Favourable bounce for Taylor. Harry slips a hand pass away. Selwood back inside to Kelly. Kelly's on the wing. Spots a man back in the middle. It's Mackie. Runners to either side. Mackie sends a long one inside the forward 50. Bartel almost spills off his fingertips. Taken by Hunt. Snaps towards goal. One bounce and it's through. Taylor Hunt gets the opening goal on a Friday night.
Really important for both sides to get off to a fast start. This is a big win for the Cats with Taylor Hunt playing on Nick Del Santo. It looks, see a little bit of tunnelling on that occasion. That was in Trent a couple of years ago.
The difference isn't when you come back through the centre square. I mean, we saw this one there. The umpires called play on, but they were able to come back into the centre square, straighten up their attack. It just makes it so much easier. You can get a crumb 30 metres out straight in front.
Just the start the Cats need it. Big crowd too. Stakes a high game. Here's the bounce, not a particularly good one. West goes up. Second attempt, West.
Push out. Stephen Johnson.
Johnson getting the free kick. He's been in remarkable form in the second half of this season.
It didn't take long to get on. I reckon he must have been started on the bench about 30 seconds after the first goal. On he comes.
Alongside the centre circles, then he drives it inside the forward 50. A lot of Saints fly. Podsiadly stayed on the ground and got the football. Chapman kept it going. Taken by Joel Corey. Johnson, Mackie, 55 metres out. Mackie pulls it down towards full forward. He's already got one. Hunt spills off his body, rolls towards the kick-off line. Farron Ray, well done Farron Ray a couple of times. Taken by Gwilt, confronted by Stokes. In goes Hayes.
Gets a quick kick away. He'll need to get plenty of those. And Mackie, who Luke Hodge highlighted before the match, pushing forward. On the run, he wouldn't be completely beyond him. He's a long kick, as you know, Tom, so well, but this might just stretch him at 55 metres off a stand. Times it pretty well. Kicks the ball to the top of the square. Podsiadly had a crack. Beat belt away by McAvoy. Hunt, he's going to kick a second. Taylor Hunt's got two. I reckon that might be a PB for him. Don't know for sure. But Hunt's got the first two goals on a Friday night.
Well, it's interesting after the first goal, Bruce, that Taylor Hunt scored on Nick Del Santo. Del Santo started out of the centre square to try to shake the defensive tag first up. We'll follow up to see what happens with this particular stoppage here. But that's a really positive start for Taylor Hunt and the Cats.
It's incredible morale booster when the shutdown type player ends up kicking a goal, because all of a sudden the pressure is back on the player that he has been set for, which appears to be Del Santo. It's hard to tell early because players go all over the place. Eric Banner joining the St Kilda coaching staff tonight.
He used to do us too, Bruce, remember? Well, he doesn't own up to that now. In the bad old days, he would refer to them as. There's the bounce. West wins it down. Wanting a free kick is Johnson in the foreground. Nothing doing, at least initially. Now it's coming back. I think Johnson will get that free he was claiming. Looks down towards half forward. So Taylor Hunt, where is he this time? Already a career high. It spills in front of the pack, taken by Bartel. They've started in one of those Geelong frenzies. A kick down towards the forward pocket. Leading back in the race is Walker. Close to the boundary line. Walker shrugs a tackle. Didn't keep it in.
Interesting there. Hawkins absolutely launched himself, didn't he?
Got himself up high. If you just watch him when he comes down, he's quite cautious when he came down. But that's a good sign that he's launching at the footy like that.
Ooh.
So Taylor Hunt, that's the first time he has kicked 2 goals in any match. So Geelong off to that fly. They've led a quarter time in their last 4 matches. The Saints have actually led a quarter time in their last 7. So both these teams have been fast starters. So Graham in the back half. A little one to Armitage. Dennis talked about him earlier. Terrific earlier this year. And that's an awkward kick out wide. Fisher might be able to corral it. He does. Gets away from Podsiadly, and then down the line. Nice kick. Graham running hard. Takes the mark at half back.
Jason Graham then. Just over the man on the mark, barely 15. Probably 15 from the kick and not from the man on the mark. Goddard goes short, finds Montagna. He decides to hold up well wide of the mark. Now we'll go back. Just trying to take the edge off this game for the moment. Here's Dempster having a fine season. Almost an all-Australian season. Goes towards the wing. Farron Ray back in the good books. Goes down towards half forward. Kazetsky. Took a long time. Stanley soccers off the ground inside the forward 50. Kind bounce for Enright. Awkward one for Scarlett. Nabbed by Graham. Strong tackle got him down. Almost holding the ball. Moments ago, Graham had the ball at right half back. How the heck did he get down there? We've got a ball up.
That was moments ago. The block on Joel Selwood, a couple of metres off the ball.
So the Saints wanting to get that ball inside their forward 50. Duncan's handball. Johnson just fell over. Graham has been really busy. Did play a pretty good grand final against the Cats, didn't he, Graham? When Chappie got the Norm Smith.
Back there, Scarlett has taken the Kazitsky matchup, so he's on the, I guess, the slower of the 3 talls.
Stephen got up really high on Kelly. Good umpiring. And he's hurt himself, Jack Stephen. So Enright involved in this passage of play. Now Josh Hunt back to Enright. So Boris just gets rid of his opponent. Now Mackie off a step. Neat looking kick. Does it find West? Simpkin gets across to the front. And now Stokes. Taylor Hunt, the man of the moment, back to Stokes, 60 metres from goal.
Looks towards the middle, needs to be precise. Wonderful courage from Fisher. Kelly, though, the beneficiary, lines up wide of the mark. They compete 5 metres out. Walker is there for Geelong, spills across the line, and a minor score.
It's amazing. We've had, in the first 5 minutes, there's been about 3 occasions where a player's gone up and just his legs have been taken out from underneath him and fallen a little bit heavily.
Yep.
In that process.
Need him to stay safe because he was a brilliant player against Melbourne last week. Really coming of age, Jack Stephen. Dempster in the back pocket. Goes to Hayes. Hayes drives a high ball towards half back in from the side. West able to knock it across the boundary line.
I was thinking, well, after the hysteria about a whole lot of deliberate out of bounds last week, Dennis, I was thinking that maybe there'll be some hysteria about some tunnellings back into the game.
As long as we've got hysteria, that's...
You and hysteria don't go in the same sentence normally, Lee, but it sounds like you're starting it tonight. So Graham to centre wing. Well done, Josh. That was a clever mark on Stevie Milne. Would he remind Milne about that? I reckon Milne would have reminded Josh about it if he'd taken it. So Hunt inside the forward 50. Probing kick. Walker.
Throw! 50 metres.
Fair enough, I think. Jono, well, we all heard it, and he was close enough, I think.
Tom Hunt normally takes Milne Enright, not Enright.
That's here.
No, Josh Hunt usually goes to Stevie Milne. Became a father last week, Josh Hunt. So first game as a parent.
Barron's kid.
So Goddard giving it back to Ray. He's had a bitsy season, Ray. Hardly missed a match in his first 3 seasons as a Saint, but actually he's back to Simkin it was, so it wasn't Ray at all. So kick wide, Gilbert the target. And here's Armitage. Well played, Armitage. Over the top, here's Farron Ray.
Out against the boundary line, Ray. Kicks inside the forward 50. Scarlett. Manna from heaven just punches it out of bounds. We'll have a boundary thrower. Cats by 13. Rival coaches coaching against each other for the first time. Chris Scott won a couple against Ross Lyon. Here's Milne. Dangerous.
Finish.
Dangerous. Terrific goal.
Well, he loves Etihad, doesn't he? Stevie Milne, he loves a goal, and he's done it so often here. He's only missed 1 goal at this ground in the last 4 seasons. His last 35 games, he's kicked at least a goal here on 34 occasions. And he's had some big nights here.
Needs 3 more now, is it, for 50 for the 6th season?
That's right.
This is a class forwards goal. He's got about half a step to get balanced, to kick the ball back over his left shoulder. He's done it many times over his career, but that's a classy, classy finish.
Well, he's on 537 goals now, which is exactly apparently John Coleman, but he has played 158 more games, but he's been pretty good, Milne. So, gee, Armitage unhappy with
John
Kelly.
Coleman kicked many of those type of goals himself, Bruce. I think he just marked them and kicked them.
And not at Etihad.
No, not at Etihad.
So Geary gets it from Armitage, and there's 50 again against Kelly. So been sucked in a bit here, the Cats, and suddenly that good lead is going to be eroded in a minute.
Yeah, 2 free kicks that James Kelly would like to take back. It really does.
Not there, mate, no.
Putting in back in the score, doesn't it?
Yep. Well, he's a pest around the club, Kelly, and he's been a bit of a pest tonight so far. So Geary straight in front, should kick the goal, and he does, and the Saints get back within a point.
Gone up a Geary. That's an interesting one, because the guy actually, I'd like to see that again, because he's standing where he marked the ball and the guy has just virtually gone to the mark. I'm not sure that he grabbed him or did anything untoward.
What odds, Dennis Geary and Hunt, Taylor Hunt kicking 3 of the first 4 goals?
Could have got on with me, Bruce. I want Tommy to have a look at this for me when we see the replay.
Really even gave him position. I always like it when there looks like there's 6 forwards, 6 defenders, no spare defender down either end. Always indicative of usually a good contest to come.
Rucks go at it. West wins it down. Del Santo into the arms, the waiting arms of Stokes. Falls at their feet. Kelly did well. Selwood, Joel Corey flips it over the top. Stokes inside the forward 50, but ill-directed. Almost the mark to Dempster, knocked it on the ground. Geary, as I said earlier, finding his niche in defence. This is Stephen on the outer side. Runs the boundary line. Hugs it with a kick. Awkward one low down. Trying to repel borders there is Stanley. Fell at his feet, pushing his way through as Wilkes. Kelly again in the action. Lays a hand pass across to Enright. High over the top. Milne. They've got him where they want him, but they took him too high. Found himself in unfriendly territory there, Stevie.
Just the master of keeping you honest as a defender, Stevie Milne. He's always got hot feet, and on that occasion drew the free kick, did it beautifully.
Good mark in the front by Taylor.
Yeah, Taylor's got the Bo Wilkes matchup. And I mentioned Bo Wilkes kicked 5 last week, but he's only kicked 6 in his whole career prior to that, so it might have been one of those lightning strikes.
He's got a weird record, Lee, to be honest.
If he kicked 5 on Harry Taylor, I think he's got many to come.
Was Melbourne.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Different tonight against Harry Taylor.
And he kicked 3 earlier this year against Melbourne, Lee. In fact, he's only ever kicked goals against Melbourne. Well, he's only ever kicked goals against Melbourne and Essendon in his life. It's a weird record. Geary to Cripps. Running hard, stretching, kick to full forward, just offline and a behind, so all level here.
Starting to set up really well here, St Kilda. As Lee touched on, it's basically a one-on-one game. But St Kilda are able to keep the ball in front half. They're very effective on the turnover, the Saints.
Murdoch short. Josh Hunt. Taylor Hunt. Cruising past is Murdoch. Now we know he can kick it. Not his best effort. It wanders out towards half forward, but two Cats unattended. Johnson wheels around. Chapman.
He's got eyes on the back of his head, hasn't he, Stephen Johnson? He saw where Chapman was going, but he also had the skill just to put the ball out in front of him.
Runs around, snaps. It's tight, and he misses.
Well, that's actually a bit different to the normal J curve that is commonplace at the moment. Typically, the players will get themselves stationary, have a couple of steps, but Chappie on that side and try to get a bit of momentum to get the ball over the line.
So great kick by Johnson, and Chappie will be disappointed with that. So Fisher gets it from Armitage. Stephen just got at the back of him there. So Murdoch got it to Selwood, to West. Now he wanted to give it to Johnson. He couldn't quite get it out. Murdoch busy early. As Dennis said, he's got a pretty good left foot kick, Murdoch. We know he can run hard as well. Taylor Hunt's been a revelation to Chapman. Chapman handball didn't quite get to Stokes. Ray against the flow. Del Santo plays very well against Geelong. Back to Fisher, back to Montagna. Put Goddard under the pump a bit. Hayes. They've worked this well. These really good players for the Saints over the stretch, but Del Santo does something he rarely does. He coughs it up to Enright.
It goes to Kelly. Across the ground again, runners outside. They've got the overlapping player. Scarlett after the Lonergan mark. Gives it to Motlop. Misses the target though. Turning around first is Duncan. Stokes. Motlop right on the 50. Looks inside, but that's a poor kick. And taken by Fisher. The ever-reliable Fisher goes to Goddard, to Gwilt. Moving for him, Montagna ignores that, kicks it towards the wing. Good effort by Hunt, couldn't bring it down. Sard, well, he attracts a crowd. Cats all around him, like a bowl of milk. Down he goes, and we'll have a ball up on the outer side.
Big crowd, you'd expect that tonight. Geelong home game. It's not easy for the Cats supporters to get to Melbourne on a Friday night, but big turnout. Huge stakes for both clubs. That was emphasised before the match. Geelong do need another win before they could feel safe. Podsiadly. Bartel had to fish for it, but he's good at doing that. Then draws a high tackle. Back to Podsiadly. Back to Chapman. Chapman's handball just to space. Hayes, well played. What a warrior he is, Lenny Hayes. Back to Gould off a step. And Gould's kick out wide. McAvoy. It was right on the line, and McAvoy took the mark.
It was a good kick by Gwilt just off the one step. Right hand up against the boundary line to find a target was extraordinary.
Gets by a point then, McAvoy. Nondescript kick that one. Josh Hunt takes the mark. Oh, very casual kick. Scarlett goes back after it. Milne came hard at him, played it well, cleared the passage. Graham goes inside the forward 50. Mackie leads back in the race. He'll get this ball in the back pocket, nobody near him. Murdoch did a good job off the ball, shepherding. This kick towards, I was going to say one man outnumbered, but the one man did very well. That was Duncan, just clutching it over the top. And now 50. Oh, Graham has compounded the problem. One man beat two, then they cough up a 50. That's a terrible result for the Saints.
Well, Graham was also the player who just kicked the ball from 80 metres out, hoping like hell there'd be a St Kilda player able to run onto the footy, and then Geelong rebounded. So it's been a bad couple of minutes for Jason Graham.
You must give the ball straight back to him, Jason.
So Duncan, who's had a breakout season, has the ball just outside the 50, goes to Taylor, still too far out to score, sends it long, West.
Tall timber down there. Hiltons was there, Podsiadly there, but West decided to just see if McAvoy could defend him, and he couldn't.
See it so often with the defensive ruckman. They're not so good in the one-on-one down at fullback, are they?
No, they're not made to be defenders.
Trent West then directly in front. Should kick Geelong's third goal. If he does, the margin will be out to 7 points after the Cats started hot. The Saints have settled. Cats by 7.
Well, unlikely goal scorers. We talked about it before, but Taylor Hunt and Trent West with their goals. That was a great mark. He's an interesting player, isn't he? He was at the club for a long, long time. Ruckman do take a long time, I know, to develop, but he's every now and then he does something quite freakishly. He'll take a mark and run from 50 and kick a goal. That was just a great mark and a good finish, obviously, from straight in front.
Yeah,
but
it
the
was a nice mark.
was the trick,
He floated into the ball, judged it well.
Ottens would have been proud of that mark.
With the Saints' tall forwards, they just have to hang in there, Wilkes, Cozzy and Stanley at the moment, because they're just being chopped off by these Geelong defenders. 6 marks from opposition already for the Geelong defenders. They just got to keep working hard.
So Richo, our field commentator, Sherwood, back to West, back to Taylor Hunt, and that's a lovely little kick in forward to Podsiadly. So Geelong back with the lead. They made the flying start, then they had about a messy 5 to 10 minute period. Now Podsiadly's kicked to the pocket. Hawkins the target, but he was the third man up. Stokes' handball to a hot spot. Ray tried to build it away and caught one. Well, in fact, it was Simpkin again.
Good tackle.
And that's a great tackle. Is that on Hayes? It is, by Johnson.
One of the most scary things as a player is when you get one arm's pinned and you got the ball in the other hand, and you think, how the hell can I get rid of this without being holding the ball?
I'll wait for the play on.
So, that's fascinating. I mean, Johnson must have been
About
saying,
2 steps.
how can a bloke do that to me? Well, gee, that's so interesting. I mean, try to do
50 metres.
another 50 metres here.
Back.
Right. So,
Let's have a look at that again. It's 5 metres, remember?
that's,
There's no way that's 5
He's not
metres.
back 5 metres.
and don't worry, they were up for that, weren't they?
They were ready for it.
They were ready for the Geelong.
So
You
were we.
still have to be back 5 metres.
No surprise.
So Lee, wrong decision.
Well, I think so. Just the umpire has to get the defensive players at least 5 metres back from that line of the mark.
Well, here they go, another one of those defensive marks that Richo was talking about. Harry Taylor, now Duncan taking his time. Well played. He did it well. He had Stokes outside. Could have gone to him, but the angle was no good. And he waited for Hawkins and seduced him forward. And the Tomahawk takes the mark right in front.
He'd be liking this setup if he could get this all night. Tom Hawkins just opened up. Not much Gwilt could do on that occasion. Still his confidence a world of good to go back with his first kick and bang one through from 45.
It's going to be nice to see a Geelong forward run straight at the man on the mark here and kick the ball over his head. A lot talked about Hawkins' goal kicking. He kicked that sensational goal against Hawthorn, and he's straight tonight. So his first shot at goal is a major. Geelong skip away.
It was well played by Tom Hawkins too, the way he was running away from the ball carrier, then faded back towards him. The timing was impeccable. He's just getting better and better with every outing. What a remarkable last 20 games or so he's played.
He's closing in on 50 goals, a bit like Stevie Milne. Not many Geelong players have kicked 50 since Gary Ablett.
Well, it hasn't been Hawkins' problem actually getting the ball. A lot of focus on his goal-kicking technique. It looks pretty sound to me. They're really setting with a tall forward structure at the moment with Hawkins, Walker and obviously Podsiadly as well.
Joel Corey finds the football, held a while by Lenny Hayes. The two of them finished up on the deck. After it goes Selwood. Whistle and a free kick is going Geelong's way. They take the advantage. Mackie goes down towards half forward. Hawkins will get a free.
Well, one thing I think Tommy Hawkins has proven, it's as much about confidence as technique. He's got his confidence up the last month or so he's kicking through the footy, making good contact. I mean, he's more than 50-50 to kick. He's out in the 50-metre mark, but he's just got so much confidence in his kicking just currently.
2 hauls of 6-2. And Tom, when you were at this distance, did you find the pressure went off?
I didn't find myself in this position very often, Dennis.
12, wasn't it?
Not from this distance.
In he comes. Tom Hawkins then gives it a ride. It's a beauty right through the middle. Tom Hawkins has found range.
Not the first time you've caught him kicking a goal from outside 50 this year, Dennis, but not quite so dramatic tonight. But I reckon Saints fans will be sitting back and saying, well, why isn't Nick out there tonight? Where he tried everything to get out there. But earlier this week, we thought Hawkins wouldn't play and Revolt wouldn't play. Hawkins is playing, and he's kicked 2 fantastic goals. So 50 goals for Hawkins for the season. So a little milestone for him.
Yes, he knows it off the boot. He knows it's going straight. He knows he's got the distance. He's a man who's very comfortable with having a shot at the moment. He'd take it from anywhere. So 2 to Hawkins gets him to 50 goals for the season. McAvoy tried to get it away. So the Cats have kicked the last 3. Selwood has been coming in off that wing a bit. Murdoch, that one askew. But Cats might be onto this. Podsiadly to Hunt, a left footer. So he had to go back to Kelly, and then Kelly to centre half forward, and McAvoy's drifted back. Did well, McAvoy.
We need to do this tonight, Bruce. His defenders are undersized on Hawkins, Podsiadly and Walker, so big role for McAvoy to come back and take some intercept marks.
And interesting, the Saints left Blake out. Now he's going to play VFL tomorrow. I mean, he's a tall defender that could have gone back there. Now Stanley's going to play forward, we're told, mainly tonight. So they've sort of given up a little bit there down the back half, haven't they?
Yeah, I was surprised by that. Blake has done a role for St Kilda over a long period of time as a tall defender.
So Armitage uncertain, and then a little one down the line, and Wilkes takes a clever mark.
Going to have to get upfield to get him. I just don't think the St Kilda Tools are going to mark the ball in that inside 50. They took 14 inside 50 marks against Melbourne last week. I reckon they'll be lucky to take double figures tonight.
Wilkes hugs the boundary line with a kick. Pitches in front of James Kelly, who leads back in the race. Like Cripps comes from the angle, did well, lays it off. Stanley racing, still going. Stanley hasn't bounced the footy and misses. Got a long way. She can go though. He can really motor. He was thinking about the bounce, but they didn't give him time, and then he got it on the ankle. Harry Taylor. 22 more possessions for the Cats. Like an extra player. And mounting as Johnson goes down towards Podsiadly. Podsiadly, lively ball, just the half volley in front of Hawkins. Motlop didn't have it. Umpire let them play. Wilt overran the football. Graham on his knees, did nicely. Brilliant smother by Chapman across the boot of Geary. This is Simpkin in trouble, falling to the ground, coughed it up. Hand pass came from Hawkins, intended for Motlop, and it goes out of bounds. Well, seemed to linger.
Missed that one. He was a miss, that one.
Saints need to really hold firm here. Cats putting a space between themselves and their rivals. McAvoy, good tap. Geary got the opening goal for the Saints. Now Hunt, well, if the siren sounded now, you'd back him in from here. He's forever the team man in this situation, but he could barrel this. And I think they're encouraging him to do just that.
Should go back the distance. The forward 50 is absolutely chock-a-block, so go back and kick the goal.
60 metres out. Well, he hooked it a bit and didn't quite get it. And it's a belt through for a behind. So Josh Hunt, Taylor Hunt's kicked a couple. Hasn't done that before in his career. In this opening term, got the first 2 goals. So Geelong comfortably at the moment.
Wilt to himself and drives it towards the outer side. Oh, terrific mark in front. Well, not quite to Mackie. Falls to the ground. Over the top is Fisher. Ball wedged between the pair, and we'll have a ball up. Mackie has been in good form in the last month. Very good form. McAvoy favoured by the bounce. Punches it wide towards the wing. Rucking against Walker at the present time. Was there a shin in there, Johnson? No, he must have been across the line. Boundary throw in.
Watch him both ways.
So, McAvoy, decided advantage here, just takes it. Kicks it down towards half forward. There's the danger. Rucking Walker. They are stretched for ruckman. This is Lonigan. When I say they, that's Geelong. Off the ball behind play in the centre circle. Skullduggery has occurred.
Joel Selwood in Montagna.
It's downfield. You took him to the ground. Drag him down. Okay? We're watching. Okay,
Well,
both ways.
We know, I thought it was out and is no longer a defence.
There's been a focus on...
Clear out, guys, clear out. Joey, can you please clear out?
From the time he starts his walk, and he takes about 15 seconds
watching the game.
usually, from the time he starts his approach till he actually kicks it.
He's okay. He's on the way in. It's okay.
So this doesn't count against him on the clock. That's what the umpire is saying.
It's amazing, isn't it?
Yes. But it's a happy ending.
It's a long story when Sard lines up, but as Dennis said, it had a nice conclusion. He doesn't miss too often from the set. He's 12 goals won this year now. But it's interesting, isn't it? So very plain there, Lee, that the moment he starts to walk in, and you can't rush in on him, even if he's taken more time, you won't be called to play on.
Yes, I think everyone's aware that he takes a long time, but it's how does it get interpreted? It's an unbelievably slow walk up, but he gets a really good kick through the foot. The question is, he takes so long. Normally you've got to start your walk, your approach, within 30 seconds. That's about the time. And then he takes another 15 on that.
Well, he's had 13 set shots this year and missed one of them, so it works. Kelly caught by Hayes. It's been a quarter of fluctuating fortunes. A few free kicks have cost the Cats here in this opening term. Think of the Geary goal, the Selwood there in the middle.
It's amazing the scouting. The Geelong players are all yelling at the umpires to hurry him up because, you know, it comes, gets around the circles. He takes a long time trying to pressure him.
I think some of them wanted to tackle him when he was on his way in, to be truthful. So Stokes from Taylor Hunt to Bartel, and then Bartel off a step, but Geary gets back and fills a hole. Done well, Geary.
Yep, averaging 20-odd touches over the last month. He's filling a really good role at the moment for St Kilda across half-back.
He's had 49, Tom, in the last 2 weeks. For much of his career, he played nearly every match during the season and then couldn't play a final. He kept getting left out in the finals, but he's stuck to his guns. Wilkes kicked down the line, and here we go again. He's too far out to have a shot, I think. Sard, good player, Sard. 24 goals for the year.
We can tell he's not having a shot. He drives it long down towards full forward. It's a giveaway. Although, late in the game, he could be sneaky. Got to be careful. There's Murdoch running through midfield. Stokes, brilliant. Chapman, man on towards the outer side. Corey, they've got 3-on-1 forward of the play. They need to separate. The long kick comes in towards Duncan. Duncan stretches. They've got 4-on-2. Chapman feeds it forward. They've got a...
well played.
Well done, Geary.
Oh, how about that? The numbers game eventually didn't pay off. 5-3 to 3-2. The clock beat them. Well, that's not quite true. So did the St Kilda defender. 33 plays 20, quarter time on Friday Night Football. Quarter time on Friday Night Football, and Geelong lead it by 13 points, 5-3 to 3-2. Interesting affair, played in spurts by both these sides. With me is Luke Hodge, and Luke, I suppose the difference, it's fair to say, with those 2 early goals to Taylor Hunt.
Yeah, exactly right. He's got the job on Dale Sander tonight, and he's really tried to work offensively on him. He's, as I said, he's kicked the first 2 goals early in the game to get him going, but just there's nothing more that get your teammates pumped up than a tagger when he kicks a goal. Just wondering, Richo down there, the St Kilda forward line have struggled to get into the game. What are some things that they can try and do to have an impact?
Well, I think their work rate's all right, Hodgie. They've been trying to push up the footy, but one thing you have to do is you've got to get Harry Taylor a little bit deeper. At the moment, he's just intercepting everything. The Geelong defenders have had 7 intercept marks, so I'd be trying to drag Taylor back deeper. I think Stanley's the best athlete, so let him do the work up the ground. Hopefully he can get some ball there and then get it into Wilkes, who's been on Taylor deep.
It's probably unfair to say this, but when Walker's been rucking, that's when St Kilda have played their best football. They are vulnerable on the ball, aren't they? Rucks.
Yeah, well, exactly right. Well, West has come in. He's crushed a big pack down the boundary line. So, look, you're always keen to have your best ruck in the middle.
So 13 points the margin, quarter time on Friday Night Football. Here's Bruce.
Thanks for that, Dennis. So there is Walker. A couple of goal margin to the Cats. Strange first quarter in many ways, and a strange goal attempt by Stevie Johnson that was cut off in fairly controversial circumstances, and we'll have a look at that in a moment. I know that Stevie J's spoken to the umpires. He just had a chat to them then, and I think he did before they got to their huddle at quarter time, but more about that in a moment. Geelong with a handy lead, but St Kilda in the match. Cats have been a bit loose with a couple of free kicks which have resulted in goals. So McAvoy, we've talked a lot about Geary and what a really good first quarter he played. He saved the day late, didn't he? Sarge kicked a goal. It's been energetic. That's a lovely kick too, forward to about 30 metres out. Good chance for Newell. He normally kicks these, and he does. So the Saints get the flying start, and Stevie's got a couple.
Yes, he's such a dangerous small forward. Those smalls up there, I just can't see them marking the ball against the Geelong defence. They've started Kazicki. All three of them are still out there, but they're actually going to, I think, only have 2 tools. Wilkes might be on the bench at the moment, but it seems to me they're just going to have to scunge a lot of goals. There's Steve Johnson still complaining about where...
Now that was when they were going to the break, Lee, so...
Sure, we'll have a good look at that at half-time or when we get a chance, because it seemed like the St Kilda player was nowhere near 5 metres from the line of the mark.
Not sure what umpire Rosebery had to say in his defence there, but Johnson, not the captain, but you can go in and ask, and umpire Rosebery good enough to accept his question. Pushing the ball outside the centre square was Hunt, taken by Enright, feeds it back. The other Hunt, Taylor Hunt, who started so well with 2 early goals, goes to Duncan. Duncan's been busy, kicks inside the forward 50, appeared to be a half volley. Well, it's paid the mark.
Did look like a half volley to the naked eye. No?
Oh, no,
there's a whistle.
Good effort.
Yeah, it was terrific. That ball came in at a strange angle, really. It was virtually point-to-point upright. Don't often see that, and still it stayed above the turf. So Hawkins lining up at his third. Man on the mark is about 45 metres out. Well, this is remarkable. Off hands right on the line, but it was headed for the middle of the goals. Just lacked a couple of metres. He was like Tiger Woods about 5 or 6 weeks ago when Tiger lost his mojo. It's sort of back with Tiger, but one of the great stories in football this season is how Tom Hawkins has become such a great kick from Taylor Hunt. Such a live wire on a Friday night.
Gee, started well, Hunt, hasn't he? We talked about his job on Del Santo, those first quarter goals. Now he puts it back to Hawkins. Got it again. Well, he's just monstering them, isn't he?
Well, at the moment, you watch the work off the ball. We spoke pre-game about Wilt being undersized, and Tom Hawkins does a lot of his work off, and you just see the separation there of only a metre. That's done when the ball's in flight and gives himself the best opportunity to take it the highest point.
They're just all undersized, the St Kilda defenders. They just haven't got anyone... Well, there's very few defenders with the bulk of Hawkins that can keep up with him. That must be said.
And nobody this season has taken more marks inside 50 than this man. He's kicked straight all night, and he's now kicked 3 goals. So he's a huge weapon. Gee, his emergence, Dennis, has been one of the most interesting stories in footy. He was much maligned. He had that great start to his career where he kicked a lot of goals in his first couple of matches, and then there's a lot of people thought, well, he's not going to ever make it, and then, you know, a big final series turns things around, and right now he's up there with Buddy and all of them, isn't he?
Yep.
Well, he's just super confident one-on-one now, but you've got to thank his teammates. Look at Podsiadly behind there. They know that one out, he can't be beaten, and they're all doing their job. There were 2 Shepherds there that allowed him to have a one-on-one opportunity. Well done to the rest of the forward line.
West knocked it down. Motlop, did he have the football? Play-on's the call. Kelly, Motlop on the overlap is Hunt, playing a wonderful game. Goes inside the forward 50. This time Hawkins let it bounce, got into his move, fell over, gets a hand pass away to Duncan, running out of space. Chopped off by Gilbert, goes back to Goddard, who's been quiet. Short one to the 50, taken by Del Santo. Haven't called his name too much either, just 3 possessions for Del Santo. Dempster, Fisher, across the face of goal, taken on the bounce by Simpkin. Decides to run it up. Goes outside the 50. Kicks towards the wing. Working in front out there, Montagna. Reaching over the top, Selwood. They battle after the football. Montagna kept it alive. Could have been high on Ray. Nothing doing. Did okay anyway. Went to Cripps. Oh, timely interception there. The hand coming through from Mackey. Knocks it out of bounds. There you go, Tom. He's gone further than you have.
And after that goal, Fisher's gone back onto Hawkins, so Wilk's been relieved of that job.
So McAvoy out of the ruck to centre half forward. Stanley and Taylor. Taylor, well done to Hunt. start to end right. This Geelong defence has been supreme so far tonight. And that kick maybe fortuitously to Motlop. Now Motlop to Bartel, who's just a fantastic one-on-one player, we know that. And he held the mark despite Armitage coming in and doing his best. So
Move it on!
Jimmy in the heart of the centre square, dishes it off. Now Hunt loads it up and kicks a 65-metre kick to fall forward. Oh! Are they going to play it?
No, surely not.
I think it might be a Hawkins free kick.
Yeah.
Free kick to Hawkins.
For shepherding him away from the jump at the mark was the umpire's call.
So it begs the question, would have they paid the mark, Bruce?
Remember the Paul Pleasure mark at Adelaide? It was very similar. I mean, would you have paid this mark? It's hands on the shoulder.
Yeah, you pay the marks, I reckon. It's hits it down on hands on back, surely. Anyway, it was on free kick was paid before the mark anyway, but I think you've got to encourage blokes jumping on the back.
We all agree.
But balance a little bit with hands.
What's the difference between that and touching a bloke in the back when you get pinged for that?
Just touch him on top of the head. Yeah, no, point taken.
So Hawkins straight in front. He's kicked 4, Tom. 6 is in danger, I think.
Well, he's running white hot now, isn't he, Tom? And the Saints defenders are very Tom conscious.
Duncan's in a bit of form too, I reckon, after that mark, don't you?
Well, he's a good player, Duncan. He's got under the radar a bit, hasn't he? Because he's surrounded by such quality teammates, but he's become a very good player this year.
I feel like he's about where Kelly was about 5-6 years ago, Duncan, don't you?
Yeah.
Here's the free kick there. The free kick's basically paid to Tom Hawkins, but there's a fair leap from Mitch Duncan. As soon as you take your eyes away from the ball and face back, direct your opponent, visual clue to give away a free kick.
That was a great shot, wasn't it? So much going on amongst those 4 players. You needed to see it in slow motion to get the full aspect. Down goes Farron Ray, and the umpire will do it again.
I tell you what, the form he's in, given that they're not playing a spare man back security, anywhere from midfield forward, you just be bombing it on Hawkins' head. Don't mess around with it. Get it in there quick.
Get the feeling now the Saints are just hanging on. They need the next goal. Armitage got it from Hayes. Duncan again, but straight to Graham. Now Graham looks out wide. That was a beautiful pass to Goddard. Goddard forward of the wing. He almost got 50 there. Stanley's on the move. He kicks into the man on the mark. Comes back to him though. And he goes again inside the 50, low down. That's the difference. Wilkes spilt the mark that Hawkins took just moments ago at the other end. This is Scarlett, just pops it over the top. Joel Corey to the run of Hunt. Josh Hunt, Murdoch, now Duncan. Full of confidence, Duncan comes out wide. Taken by Taylor. Hunt loops it over the top. Taylor needed to be quick, and he was. Gives it to Stokes. Well, that's not helping his full forward down there. Giving a contest, though. Just stumbling in amongst those big Saints was Hawkins, and that was enough to get it on the ground. Under pressure, Gilbert gave it to Gwilt. Away comes Fisher. Fisher looks towards half-back. Onto the chest, though, of Josh Hunt.
Great contest there by Tom Hawkins. He was outnumbered. Ben McAvoy came back. The Saints defender's a bit shell-shocked at the moment, and sometimes the end result is a turnover. Sam Fisher usually uses the ball so well, but Josh Hunt just reading the cues and cutting off.
The ball got in there because West was the link man in between, because McAvoy is now dropping right back onto Hawkins. So West could be very influential just at around the 50-metre mark.
So Hunt had a chance from about 55 in the first term, kicking from closer to goal this time as he found range. Goal umpire goes a fair way, it hits the post. 47 plays 26.
Watching tonight, I reckon the Eagles are thinking we might have been a little bit lucky last week. No Hawkins for most of that match. I mean, his influence is enormous. I haven't seen a full forward make defender so nervous since Lockett was at his peak. I feel like they're all nervous down back at the moment because he's just dominating. So Duncan's having a great match, and Johnson marks. Now, this is probably too far out for Stevie J. He'll probably do something unorthodox.
He won't snap it.
He's not going to do the Brent Harvey one and try and sell a dummy. I saw Brent Harvey do it for me last weekend beautifully.
He gets the most distance when he hooks the ball. Now, he may run out towards the pocket and do the big hook. Not sure if he can go all the way if he runs straight here. We saw him late last week against the Eagles where he didn't make it from about 30. Well, he's got the distance nearly, not quite. And it's a point, Richo.
At the moment, Joel Corey is playing on Dempster, and Dempster's their best intercept player. He's the player they want coming off to intercept Hawkins, but they respect Corey too much. He's dragging Dempster up the ground, getting him out of the play. It's been a good move by Chris Scott.
There's Joel. Good to see him back. Short one comes in from Gwilt. Finds another number 11.
Play on off your line, play on.
Montagna in two minds, thought about going across the ground. You can see by that grimace on his face he wasn't happy with what he saw. Little 1-2 with Hayes. Now under pressure, Armitage, stolen away by Johnson. Johnson slips it to Stokes. Stokes should kick a goal and he misses. Well, they've got the Saints on the deck, but they can't finish them off right here. The margin is out to 23. Now that's brilliant by Johnson though.
Since the Milne goal, which was 20 seconds in, it's 2-4 Geelong to no score. So Dempster out of that back half. Fisher called to play on. He's going to buy a bit of time here, Fisher, and go back to Gwilt. Next goal vital here. I mean, if the Saints get it, it's still manageable, but if Geelong get it, you feel like it might be getting out of control. Geary. Just got to hold their nerve here, the Saints. They've got to create. Now, McAvoy, Montagna's a hard runner, you know that. Now, he's going to go short, I think he does, to Goddard. Goddard quickly, they're creating. Now, Gilbert released on the right side for him as a lefty. Looks up, well played. They held their nerve, they played it well.
Kick the ball.
Here he goes, this is the Milne curve, and I reckon he might have got it. He's kicked 3, Stevie, and the Saints get that important goal. They did it well. Just down the wing, Dennis. They didn't overplay it.
No, they called it beautifully. They just kept their nerve and they got Geelong to blink first.
Gee, what about Milne, eh?
Yeah.
He and Tom are having a shootout.
Well, the problem is Tom's got more support, it seems, than what we've seen so far, but Stephen Milne just keeps churning out those goals.
Just see still Stephen Milne on that occasion. He had Corey Enright as direct opponent. Good lesson to all young forwards just to stay on the move repeatedly. Great patient ball use by the Saints and great forward play by Stevie Milne.
Selwood has been quiet, making a free kick here. So Selwood having his 6th possession. Inside the centre circles, that's a beautiful kick coming out wide to Murdoch. Delivered on a plate. So Murdoch should get the distance from here. We like him. He comes from Glenelg, Tom?
He's from the Bay.
From the Bay.
Was the fastest player at the draft camp, so has got leg speed and beautiful left foot kick.
So a kick from about 52. Kick is on the way. It's just sagging right. Helped across the line there by Gilbert going back. Extends the lead to 18. So not insurmountable for the Saints. They've been outplayed, but they're not far away. But the Cats have been peppering the goal at the Coventry end.
St Kilda have pushed Goddard into the forward line, and at the moment Milne's the one-man show forward. Assard's doing okay, but nothing in the air. So can Goddard actually do something as a permanent forward?
Armitage, Taylor probably interfere with, just couldn't quite hang on to the mark, and that ball in dispute and not coming out in the ball up.
One of the challenging things for St Kilda is that Sam Fisher's been forced to play on Tom Hawkins, and we know how much damage that Fisher can do running from half back, so I'm not sure they've necessarily got another option. McAvoy obviously drifting back, but it'd be great if they could free up Sam Fisher to start some run.
So West right over the top to Hayes, to Graham, Stephen. Had a really good year, Stephen. We know he kicked 3 goals in a quarter against the Cats at the MCG one night. Now Goddard, talked a lot about him. Look good off the boot, and there's Wilkes. So that was terrific.
Worked into that. It's only the second mark they've taken inside 50. Milne took the first one a few minutes ago, so they're going to have to be able to get it on the move. Anything that hangs in the air, the Geelong Tour defenders are in complete control.
And a mismatch there. Taylor Hunt caught on Wilkes. Certainly wasn't the matchup that they're after.
Well, all scores he's kicked this year have been from the set shots. He's kicked 10 goals forward. He's not going to register anything with that. And West tries to build it away. Now Milne, I was going to say, that's a good spot for Stevie normally. He usually scores from that position. He couldn't quite get a handle on it. And I'd like to see Milne and Stevie J in a little tricks competition in a forward pocket one night.
I'd pay for that. Interesting, the breakdown on the numbers. Geelong 68 kicks, 72 hand passes, 81-45 for the Saints. So these two sides going about their business in decidedly different fashion. Falling to the ground, Kelly. Now a chance for Chapman. Played it to his own advantage. Releases Murdoch. Murdoch goes wider still. Harry Taylor just having a fine season. Nothing down the ground, so he waited. Got some help with a couple of good shepherds. Selwood, not sure why he moved off his line there. Comes to Chapman. Back to Selwood. At half-back, Selwood finds Kelly. Margin 18 points. James Kelly just lobs it over the top. Harry Taylor decides to bustle his way forward. Kicks to Stokes. Juggled attempt at the mark. Spilt it. Taken by Bartel with the outside of the boot. How will it bounce? Obligingly for Gwilt. Runs the goal line, does Gwilt. Sends it out to right half-back and Ray.
So, Farron Ray is in the defensive 50, now out of it. Undecided, as you can see. So he's going to kick down the line. Cats have got one extra player there. Cozzy has been quite sort of half-shifted the pack. But the paces with Geelong, Kelly, Stokes, Mackie had a bit of an airy. Hayes got in hard on Stokes. Good battle. Armitage tries to get it away. Now Goddard, and that's a terrific tackle coming from Motlop. Taylor held up in the tackle. Well done though by Milne to Goddard, and then Goddard off a step, and Sard has nearly got it. Not quite. It bounced away from him, but he gets away from Scarlett, arches his back and dribbles it through for a brilliant goal. Well played. Beat Matthew Scarlett one-on-one. His kick two.
That was impressive by Sard on that occasion. The Saints looked a bit pedestrian with their pace up earlier in the wing, but then got some space here. Just watch this play. He dropped the mark, the ability to bounce up really strong through the core and the hips, and just a really clever dribble kick. The modern day player just does that so well.
Exactly, the bounce of the ball, 2 to Sard, 3 to Mills. Certainly the midget brigade down there isn't the tall forwards down there aren't going to do it, so they're just going to be so dependent on the ground level stuff.
Goddard's just got involved in the last 5 minutes a bit.
But at least he's been the link man. I mean, that's what they need. Without Rewald, they need someone to link the defence through the middle of the ground into the deep in the forward line. And Goddard, well, I don't know whether he's done it regularly, but maybe this is the night. St Kilda are going to need it to be his night.
So the margin back to just 12 points. West goes up. Del Santo looking to shark it. Comes to Kelly. Out wide, Joel. Corey fends Armitage off. Hand passes back to West. The big guy runs to 50. Lines up. And he kicks a goal. Oh! The big Bob didn't do that.
Well, Dennis, we talked about it earlier. He does that every now and then. I mean, there's a bit of freakiness about him, you know. Yeah. I mean, Ottens will be proud of all this tonight. I mean,
yeah.
That is an absolute contribution from a ruckman to kick 2 goals in the first half of a match. I mean, that's a bonus, isn't it?
As we said before, with the situation where you're rucking Walker as the second, I think it's occurred to West that he's pretty important tonight.
We'll see West kicking the goal because McAvoy's heading back to Hawkins. So West should be able to generate 3 or 4 shots from that part of the ground if he's smart enough to hold his position.
Are you surprised, Tom? You played with him a bit. I mean, he was at the club for a while. I mean, he's doing some great things.
He's always a terrific athlete, and I think the most impressive thing about that was the spread and the decision make away from the actual contest. Really smart play.
Well, he's had a huge impact on this first half as West. He's not alone, of course. Hawkins, Taylor, Hunt, Duncan, etc. And for the Saints, Sard and Milne have kicked 5 between them. Here's Armitage, kicks to half forward. Stanley front spot, free kick, I think, against Scarlett. Oh, Sard, is it Sard's free? No, I think it's Sard's free kick, actually, coming back to Sard, which might be even better than Stanley.
This has been another shepherding away from what looked like being the marking contest, the way the umpires called it.
Now, does he take a shot? No, he doesn't, but it's not a great kick to Hayes. Gee, that's a waste. Had to find the target if you're going short. Now Duncan on the burst.
Stokes inside the centre square. Not a good kick. Simpkin gets back. The brothers playing tonight. Clock one for his quarter 2. Must be his free kick. Simpkin could well be 50 as well.
He could argue a case for 50 on that occasion.
I reckon. What was Walker thinking? I think he nearly hit him in the scone. For For those old enough to remember, a bit of the Donovan Leaches about Simpkin as he goes in short, finds Goddard across the ground. You can remember, Bruce.
Yep.
Here's an opportunity midfield for Cripps. Run down off the side of his boot. It goes out towards right half forward. Enright comes storming up the ground, pokes it forward. Mackey is outnumbered 3-on-1. Fights the valiant fight. Now a chance for Stephen. Goes to Geary. Fumble came from Gilbert. Standing his ground was Mackey. Smothered by Geary. Socket by Mackey. Picked up by Johnson. Goes to Selwood. Selwood over the top. They've got the numbers again. Oh, delusions of adequacy for a moment there for West, but he's getting a high tackle. Wants to go. Does. Kelly. They could score a goal from here. Ooh. Well, Lenny needs to be careful. Lenny's hurt, but he braced himself. Much loved character, Lenny Hayes, but not by the Hunts at the moment. That's got to be 50, doesn't it? Yep. It is. And more may be made of that.
Is he late, mate?
What do you reckon? Do you reckon he's in trouble, Tom?
I don't think so.
I think he was. It seemed to me he wasn't, Tom. He was slightly late, so 50-metre penalty, but I don't think it was high contact and not so late that it wasn't close to the marking contest.
Closest?
Explain that point. If he actually had made high contact, then he might have been in trouble. But he's got a blood nose, so he might have been high contact, I guess.
Well, clearly the umpire thought it was late because it's 50.
It looked that high at the time. I think that's a clash of heads, but nevertheless.
And it's only marginally late. I'm not sure what... To be fair, I'm not sure what Lenny can do in that situation. And for me, it's still a grey area.
Stay clear, 5 metres.
I reckon he almost thought he could.
Potential support.
More so the potential.
5 metres, guys.
Yeah.
What do you think, Richo? What do you think?
He almost looked like he was shaping for the chest mark, Lenny, and then realised at the last minute he was going to be a bit late.
50 Shades of Grey. There goes the kick and he puts it through. Got to put that down, Bruce.
Haven't read it, Dan, but I've heard a lot about it.
Well, I'm in the minority again. I reckon Lenny knew exactly what he was doing and decided when he couldn't get to the marking contest, he just turned side on to give him one.
Well, he gave him one.
Well, he gave him one, yeah, good-o.
But we won't go
I'm with Lenny. No, I reckon Lenny's terrific. Second favourite footballer behind Hodgie.
You change every Friday night, depending on who's in the box with you, eh?
And whether they're within earshot.
See the contact to Hunt is his head. So basically, Hayes' head into Hunt's head is what caused the eye contact.
Well, he's going to have to concentrate now, Hayes, and they need to get another one back before half-time. Montagna out of the centre. Stanley almost. Bartel, well done, Hayes. That's concentration. Dal Santo, brilliant spin. Check side. This is a chance. Oh, well played by Enright. Gee, they did well there, the Saints, the two champs, Hayes and also Dal Santo. Poor old Taylor Hunt, he was about to kick 3 goals for the first time in his life, but all he's got's a blood nose. Anyway, he's had a good night, beside the blood nose. A kick by Motlop into the centre. Selwood, well played. Duncan, and Selwood gets shoved in the back, and now Duncan, it's a free kick to Selwood.
There's a bit of niggle from all the St Kilda players on Joel Selwood. It's a team effort to get under his skin, no doubt about that.
So Duncan to Motlop, and then Motlop. There's 50, is it? No.
Oh, please.
Well, Stokes within range anyway, but is this...
Yeah. Thanks, TV. Dave?
I'm confused.
There was a little shove, but there was an extra shove at the end, wasn't there? So Stokes has missed an easy shot in this quarter on the run, but he hasn't missed that if he's got the length. And I think he has, and Geelong are kicking away. Good lead now. They're almost 5 goals in front.
And watching the game, it seems to be more.
Yeah, I agree. Well, they've had 18 shots to 9, so you feel like they're dominating, don't you?
Missed that.
No, you did not miss that.
I did so. They look so dangerous, don't they, when they go forward, Geelong?
It's the scoring too easily now. Geelong. St Kilda have got 2 or 3 what you'd call fortunate unearned goals.
Lenny Hayes did well, fisted it forward. Comes there to Joel Corey, fending off. Armitage will get the free. Joel Corey looking quizzically, 9 possessions so far. Armitage dancing around, 12 possessions to him. That was the most dangerous of them all. Went to Graham, kicks inside the forward 50. Wilkes in front, knocked away by Taylor, close to the boundary. In fact, Enright kept it in. Did he know it's a cross? Well, as Tom said earlier, sometimes it's hard second time up. 5 goals, 12 marks, albeit against Melbourne last week. But tonight, different story. Wilkes is finding it tough against quality defence.
Just had the 1 shot on goal and he missed that, Wilkes, so not on the scoreboard yet. Really, it's been Milne and Saad that have been doing that. Kosicki, that was well played to Hayes. Stephen bursting through and then got it back, Stephen, and hooking and just missing. So Saints have just had the 10 scoring shots to 18. They just got to take advantage of all of these little chances they're getting, because they're scraps at the moment, aren't they?
Well, they've done well to get 6-4, really, because they haven't had that many scoring opportunities, but some smart ground level players got them on the board.
Not his best torpedo up the middle. Difficult ball to mark. Duncan couldn't. Stokes the crumb though to Bartel. Great evasion. Bartel goes back to Enright. Out wide. Running on was Stokes. Now they can do some damage. Centering ball, Podsy Adley. Haven't seen much of him.
Stay clear.
Man on the mark is right on the 50. Up ahead, Chapman. Not sure he'll be the target. Now, Kosicki is deep. Hawkins is deeper.
West's gone down there as well, which good pause. You can't have the opposition ruckman floating around in the goal square for these long kicks. So West there to have a jump himself.
So you can see Tom there using the goalpost and the fat bit as a buffer. But Podsy Adley obviously fancies himself anyway, and I think Tom, by where he's stationed, thinks Podsy Adley will get the trip. In he comes. Kick is on the way. Hasn't got the carry, not quite. Pushing the back surely. Kosicki, no free kick to the Saint, and the ball goes through for a minor score.
You're spot on, Dennis. He got a big shove out, Cosy. So Podsy Adley certainly playing second fiddle to Hawkins, isn't he? But a bit of a decoy a couple of times in this first half. So St Kilda just trying to keep it to a 4 or 5 goal margin at the moment, trying to salvage something from what is almost a wreck at half time. They're really playing for their season here. Goddard got it short. He's used the ball well, Goddard, in this quarter. And that's a lovely kick to Ray. Not sure about that use. Graham, Hayes, they've asked a lot of their champ. And then Graham, that's okay. Gilbert, well, a fumble by Simpkin. Now he's wanting Stevens' run. Another fumble. Another fumble. It might work out for him. Can he deliver here down the line? Well, that was sloppy by St Kilda. Just fumble out of bounds.
The thing is, they've got to go really. They can't go from A to B straight towards the goals because they've got no confidence in their marking forward. So they've got to try and create. But by the time it does get forward, it's just so slow.
Just rotten luck as far as the Saints are concerned without their champ tonight. Del Santo, they're bursting through. Goes to Hayes. Hayes, the long kick. That's a pretty good effort. Oh, he hit the post. So Hayes is up to 13 possessions. Del Santo 7. Stokes 13. Kelly 15. James Kelly just gets it done.
They're in front on the clearances, St Kilda. Around the packs, they're doing okay. It's just at either end of the ground there. That's where their struggles are mainly based.
Hunt. There's Kelly again. Deep in his own defensive area. Steve Johnson burning down the ground, offering a lead. Now he goes wide. He'll get the football if you don't mind. He started the other end of the square, Steve Johnson. And such is his charisma, they kick it to him. Told to go now. He's Kanaka. He kicks it up towards the wing, and the mark is taken there by Stokes. At the interchange gate. Stokes has been good.
14th, Dennis.
They're all over it, Bruce. Centering kick. Duncan, he's been terrific as well. Podsy Adley. Well, that was clinical. They just opened them up and slit them down the middle.
He done a good job, Podsy Adley. I mean, he's got on the end of the last couple, but he does a great job of making sure that he and his opponent don't get in the marking contest with Hawkins and his opponent. You very rarely see the four of them, that is the two big forwards, the two big defenders flying for the same footy.
And that's just coaching, isn't it? They're really well drilled. I suppose it comes as well with an innate skill. But they've done it very well tonight. And generally, when we've seen them, they stay out of each other's way. Podsiadly kicks and kicks truly. Puts it through for a goal. Lovely. So the Saints now desperately needing something, otherwise they become irrelevant.
Keep thinking too that Geelong won't finish top 4, but they're going to be very dangerous in September. I mean, their last month has been so impressive, hasn't it?
Yep.
I mean, their back was to the wall. They played Essendon here on a Friday night. They weren't favourite. They cleaned them up, and that was after losing to Collingwood. But their last 4 weeks, including this one's been so impressive.
And you could never be possibly confident playing Geelong anywhere, any place, any time.
So this is their biggest first half for the year. Only West Coast have scored a bigger first half against St Kilda this year, so Geelong have really opened them up here tonight. Their big forwards doing well. A surprising goal kicker early in Taylor Hunt. So Del Santo to Hayes, who's worked hard. Hayes to Stephen to full forward and over the top. Enright just bought a bit of time, and Geelong, well, very, very impressive in the first half. They've set up what you would think be a match-winning lead, but the Saints, well, they've got so much to play for. Hayes, a combative first half. Goddard got busy in that quarter, but not enough being done by enough players for St Kilda. Half-time here, big half-time show coming up. It's Geelong 75, the Saints 41 on Friday night.
Friday night football, it's half-time, and the Cats lead it by 34 points. It's 11-9 to 6-5. He's been very busy tonight, Matthew Stokes. 14 possessions, a lot of run, and generally it's been in the midfield where the Cats overall have dominated this game. By contrast, Nick Del Santo just the 8 possessions to halftime for the Saints. They've got room for improvement, certainly. Some of their runners need to get cracking, otherwise, as we said in that second term, they're about to become irrelevant. They've got a wonderful percentage, but percentage alone won't get it done. So a second half that really means so much to the Saints as we go down to Matthew Richardson with Scott Watties.
Scotty, season's on the line. What do you need to fix up in this third quarter to get back into it?
Oh, look, I thought our ball use through the middle of the ground was too reckless early, so we just got to trust and roll and hit our targets a bit more, but we'll go to a small forward line at some point. We're probably pretty early in this quarter, and we've got to hit them with some run through the middle, but probably defensively, giving them too much space through the middle of the ground. We've got to tighten up through the guts, basically.
What about the tools? You went in with the 3 tools. They haven't been able to have any effect on the game. Will you continue having 3 down there or try something different?
No, we'll make a change pretty early in the quarter.
What about your pressure through the middle? It's been one of your strengths in recent times. You've got to get that up as well.
I think we've rolled down the line too much, tried to protect the long down the line. They pulled the trigger on the inside 45, so we really have to, we've got to find a man through the middle and force turnovers through the corridor.
Thanks, Scott.
Cheers, mate.
11-9-6-5, and Lee Matthews, it feels like a bit more than that, doesn't it? Geelong generally have just been the dominant side here.
I think St Kilda haven't been bad round the middle of the ground. They're slightly in front in clearances, but they just can't get the ball through the forward half. As Scotty Watt has said, their big guys can't find it. Wilkes, Stanley, Kaczynski. Kaczynski hasn't touched the footy at the moment. Schneider's the sub. He'll be on quick. I mean, I'm not sure why they didn't put him on at half-time, because the small forwards, that's where St Kilda looked like they got some chance of scoring.
Kaczynski, I didn't realise, no possessions at all. 0, 0, 0, 0. It's like the 4-day forecast in Reykjavik. The ball comes outside the centre square. After it goes Duncan. Went looking for a teammate in Johnson. Coming across their bow is Gilbert. Diving on top of the football there is Stephen, and the ball trickles out of bounds.
Well, they did make a change early. Brendan Goddard has started inside forward 50. Andrew Mackie picking him up.
So, Richo, looks like Schneider will come on pretty quickly, so they're going to change the balance forward, and it makes sense because all their goal scorers have been smalls, including Geary and Sard, obviously, with a couple, and Milne with 3. So only 3 goal scorers. McAvoy's hurt here.
That's why Kaczynski will probably stay on just in case, because he's the second ruckman. I think Stanley's the one that's most likely to get the change.
Schneider getting the nostrils flared there, wasn't he? Getting ready for the occasion. Well played by Selwood with a bit of help from Bartel to provide some cover. Kicks the ball forward. Now Simpkin can mark this. Actually, Dempster should have probably left it for him because he punched it up. Dempster had it ripped away. Podsiadly, Bartel cleverly tapping forward. And Selwood got a hard one there. And that one, who's got the ball? I think it's a Saint, has it? No, it'll be a ball up.
Pinned in. Let's try it.
Keeps getting the next contest, Joel Selwood. We see him there, but he was the one who kicked the ball into that part of the ground. He just kicks it and runs, hand pass it and runs. That's the way you keep getting to contests.
Podsiadly just worked out of it by Gilbert, did well. Now Stephen had to keep the ball in. Now he tried to bang it along the ground. Hunt, Chapman, Wilkes, Taylor Hunt, Ray, Gilbert did well. Del Santo, clever, well played to Cripps.
Cripps on the wing, goes down towards half forward. Tracking it back is Scarlett, coming across with a bit more pace. There was Goddard, gave it to Milne, looks down towards full forward, bounces wide of the mark, ambles on. And may have brushed the behind post, no. The behind.
McAvoy looked like he copped a poke to the eye just before.
They need him.
He came off after only 45 seconds, and something wrong with his beak by the looks of it.
Might have happened to the bounce then to start this half as Johnson just ambles away, goes to West. Needs to be good with the kick, and that's very good. Chapman.
50.
Well, it begs the question about that one in the second term, then, if that's 50.
The Montagna one, I think you're right there, Dennis.
Yeah.
On this occasion, it was arrived at the time, but it was a second push by Simpkin onto Chapman. But
I think the one earlier on Montagna, he got the benefit of the doubt, but that one, there was no doubt.
So Chapman.
Well, you don't put your hands and push him in the back.
Will take this shot from about 35 metres. Umpire having the last word emphatically. So Chapman, for just the start, the Saints can ill afford. Well, they'd like that. He misses to the left-hand side, so another reprieve at 76-42. Early going third term.
just on the Simpkin one, as a defender, you naturally don't want to concede a mark, so it's almost in disgust that you've let it go, and often that results in a push in the back.
So Goddard up the ground here. Heard that he'd started forward 50. Good kick to Montagna. Now he's got Cripps wide, Montagna, and he'll find him. Now Stanley's on here. If Cripps can seduce it over the top, he does. Now Stanley's got to kick a goal. Rather, it's Gilbert going forward. He's got to kick the goal. Well, that's a big waste, isn't it? So ran hard, Gilbert did all the hard stuff. And just missing a really good opportunity there. Got to take them all, the Saints. They'd split Geelong open for the moment. So Mackie to himself. And then a bit of a wobbly one out wide.
Gilbert, a chance to make amends, takes the mark, runs to 50. Awkward looking kick. Bartel almost marked it, crawls after it, gives it to Taylor. Joel Corey in trouble, spills back behind him. Josh Hunt stood up in the tackle. Corey gives it away. Kazetsky, first possession effective. Armitage, Sard went to ground. They kept it alive. And Milne just skirting in, gets his fourth. Well, that was a wonderful example there of just having the extra man. So when it was coming unglued, there was still one guy on the outside, and that was Stevie Milne having a big night. When you look back over his record in some important qualifying games, he really has come up trumps. They need him tonight. He's the live wire on the forward line.
Well, it was hard work in the end, wasn't it? I mean, Corey made the blue, and then they just made a bit of a meal of it. Sard. End result is that Milne's got 4. He's got 50 for the year, third consecutive year with 50, and 5th time in his career. It's a great return for a small forward.
Take him out.
And you look at his numbers, they're pretty impressive. And the Saints rolling a dice here, and you feel like they're a little chance at the moment. So Kazitsky, McAvoy's sitting it out now. Milne was the target. Sard. Time he goes near the ball, something good happens. Well done, Graham. Goddard off a step. Can he find the target? Almost. Cripps getting very, very forward. Well played. Oh, just misses Gilbert with a handball. Stephen, Armitage, Bartell in heavy traffic. Enright, Mackey, some good names there. Kicks to Chapman. Simpkin belts the ball away. Ray got down low quickly. That was good. Gets to Dempster. Dempster to Graham. We know he's a long kick, Graham. Great smother by Enright. Gilbert is going forward. Graham, Armitage, wrong side for him. Straightens up on the left and can't quite get enough on it. Just didn't have the right angle for him.
Series of half chances. Sorry, Tom.
Now the substitute there. Kazitsky's off. Schneider getting ready to go, as we all predicted. It's going to be important that he gets really active here for the Saints.
That's a terrible kick by Scarlett. Mark has been taken by Steve Milne. Wilkes and Scarlett up ahead.
A sloppy defence by Geelong, is it, these last couple of minutes that's created this second shot at goal?
A bit more tempo about the game from the Saints. Forcing some errors. Well done by them. Lesser teams might have gone inside and just given it up. Not the Saints. They come out and they're working hard, and this man could be the catalyst for a revival. Inside the 50. Kickers on the way. Started it well wide, working it back, but really gave the goals away with that kick. In fact, he gave the behinds away as well. He started it way out to the right. Still, the margin is back to 27, and I guess that's manageable as Josh Hunt kicks in looking for Johnson.
Short change, Stevie, a moment ago. It's the 6th time he's got 50 goals. In 02, he kicked 50 exactly. So a remarkable effort by him. And St Kilda hanging around here. They've had a few scoring shots in this quarter, and they've been doing all the attacking. They've come out pretty well. Gilbert's been lively. Well played by Dal Santo. Montagna had a smother. Gets a second crack. Ray has to sit and wait, and did very well. He knew that the cavalry would come.
Again, well protected by Stanley. He just did it subtly enough that he just protected Ray enough. We might see it on the left of screen, not quite, but he just was able to just block the path of Taylor. Step late for the spoil.
Had a bitsy yeast. Played in round 1, then played from round 7 to 10, then 14, 15, 19. No continuity this year. High draft pick. Been a pretty good pick up for the Saints. And that's not coming back, so they're missing some chances, aren't they?
Well, dominating time in the forward half at the moment. The Saints really need to make them count, put the scoreboard pressure on, need to get that within probably 2 or 3 goals to be a genuine chance.
So Josh Hunt to bring it in. The Saints having a good period in this game. Hawkins coming a long way up in the contest in midfield. Joel Corey, a strong tackle, and Montagna took him down. Hawkins backing out of the pack. It spills to Kelly. Kelly out wide. Now Murdoch will go on his wrong foot here. Still running though. Kicks with his right. That's good enough. Down towards the pocket. Taken down there by Podsy Adley. Lays it back in the path of Murdoch. Prefers his left foot. Hooks it goal right on the goal line. It's knocked across by Dempster.
He's done a few really good things. He looks a likely type. He obviously runs very well and uses the ball well on his left foot. He hasn't looked out of place tonight by any stretch.
Got the speed like that, and you've got a reasonable ball skills. You've got a chance, haven't you?
Yep.
Armitage off a step then. Oh, that's dangerous. Kelly comes in and takes the mark. What's he done? He's given it to Stokes, and Stokes is in trouble, and that's holding the ball. Don't know what he was thinking.
Strange, isn't it? He's let Armitage and the Saints off the hook. So Graham's kick out wide. Could have probably marked it in right, belted it away. All the Saints players, when Armitage kicked at Hayes, all dropped their heads for a moment. Suddenly they've been given a reprieve.
I wonder what he was listening to. Something in his head, Tommy.
Well, it wasn't you this time, Dennis, so he can't blame it on that. But you just go back and kick the goal from there.
Sure, it was a good tackle by Armitage. I mean, he threw himself at Stokes. Hayes throwing himself hard at the footy. And the ball up.
It's amazing. I mean, you're 25 metres out straight in front of it. You'd have to be alone in the goal square to think about giving it off in that part of the ground.
It all means that St Kilda are alive within some sort of striking distance. Well done by Schneider, who's just come on. Not a great handball though. Graham, Dempster, Gilbert there going all right, the Saints.
Towards half forward, and Sards bringing his step, missed the mark. First to recover though, run down. Holding the ball, says the umpire. Josh Hunt got him.
Ahmed! 2 metres!
seen that allowed to go before. Did he have prior opportunity? I guess he did.
Only just.
Yeah. Hunt from half back. Kicks beyond the wing. West settles in front. Couldn't take the mark, though. At the back, it's Gwilt. Podsiadly wrestles him down, and the umpire is circling. Umpire Donlan lets them play. Down goes Simpkin, taken hard. Both arms were pinned. Selwood's in there. Great advertisement for the game, this. And we got a ball up.
I don't reckon he did have prior opportunity there. If you compare it to that Cyril Rioli one a couple of Friday nights ago.
I agree with you, Richo. Yeah, that shouldn't be prior opportunity. He had about one and a half steps, didn't he? Should be longer than that.
Shenanigans at the base of that pack, and as a result, it's a free kick to the Saints across the ground. Gwilt found Graham. He'll find McAvoy. Meters in the clear. That missed by Kelly. Could come back to haunt the Cats. Fisher goes down towards half forward. Schneider, like a fly half, gives it back to Fisher. Long bomb at the back. The mark is taken by Stanley on his knees. He thought about giving it away. What is going on here?
Haven't taken that mark. I mean, Scotty Waters is probably saying to himself, I think I've made the right move to take Kosciuszko off and leave Stanley on. It's only one, but at least it's a start for their big forwards.
Jabs it back to Armitage. Now Armitage is about 32.5 metres out. This is no gimme. Normally a nice kick, but a lot of pressure on here. Margin of 26. This to pull it back to 20 midway through the third term on Friday Night Football. Young man from Morningside in Queensland. Kick is on the way. It's out to the left. It's working back. I think it's okay. It is. Saints draw breath. They're still in it.
Well, they've got themselves back in this now. They kicked 2 goals, 4 in this quarter, and Geelong with a couple of points. Good effort. Just the balance of the team a bit different. Schneider's come on, had a couple of touches. Graham's got really busy, actually running hard.
You don't often have a sub activated with so much pressure to perform straight away like Schneider has.
There's Sam Gilbert. He's the one as well in the forward 50 that's really got lively. He's had 8 touches in less than a half of this quarter, and he's helped them get back into the game.
Jim McAvoy, that was strange. West to Kelly, and then Kelly to half forward. Chapman and Simpkin. Podsiadly cleverly on. Hawkins just couldn't quite get the handle on it. Motlop, and they'll rush it through from behind. Yeah, Gilbert's been busy. Graham's been busy. So going really early then, McAvoy. Umpire thought everything was okay, so Gwilt to bring it back in. Geelong without a goal in the second half. They certainly had one wonderful opportunity with a free kick right in front. So McAvoy the target. Kelly just pushed him out. Suddenly the next goal becomes big in this match, doesn't it? I mean, if the Saints can get it, they've had 6 scoring shots in this quarter to 3. Certainly getting a lot of the football around the ground. Geary to Graham. Graham's been terrific in this quarter. Wider still. Montagna. Hard running Montagna. Good kick. Stanley. Dos Santo. Not sure if he should have released Dos Santo on that side. Back to Stanley. And then, well, Stanley's kick's not good. Scarlett. Good effort by Goddard. Wilkes. Down to Mackie. Mackie to West. To Hunt. To Taylor. To Mackie, had to squeeze it. Bouncing ball. Montagna knew the tackle was coming and then rips the ball out with the handball.
Taylor Hunt over the football then. Tries to get it across to Joel Corey, and out it goes, so a boundary throw in.
Still don't have the marking forward up forward, the Saints at the moment. Goddard has been playing as a permanent forward this quarter on Mackie, but still no aerial domination at all.
McAvoy wins it down, taken by Kelly, anxious to redeem himself. Gave it to Duncan. That's a dangerous kick to midfield. Real chance for the Cats. I'm hanging on to Chapman, I thought. Schneider trying to impose a grip of some sort on him. Certainly slowed him down. That's a good mark by Graham. In any case, under real pressure there from Podsiadly. Crowd 150 with some justification. An opportunity for Geary. Drives it long inside the forward 50, and the mark is taken by Goddard.
That's what you want to see from Brendan Goddard, that body to body and winning a contest. He just, in this latest part of his career, he just doesn't win contests enough. He looks like just a player who floats around trying to get the easy one, but that's what you want from him, the contested, strong mark deep in the forward line.
They're playing like a side with their future right on the edge. They're on the wrong side of the edge at the moment. But they're coming.
Well, I didn't see this at half-time. I'm not sure who did. This has been a concerted effort now. I mean, they're close enough now to really challenge here. Goddard, we've talked a lot about him throughout his career, but a lot tonight. Lee, you made a really interesting point there about him, but he's had moments tonight, hasn't he? And that was his best moment tonight by a long way.
Well, Brendan Goddard starting inside the forward 50 as he has done for this second half. Lee, if you're coaching St Kilda, what do you want from him?
Well, you want him to win contests like he did then. You know, draw the ball and actually win. You know, you don't win a heap of contests, but 3 or 4. He'll find the footy, but he needs to win more contests, I think.
Well, this is the closest they've been for half an hour, St Kilda. And Hayes takes them forward.
Hand it back, Stanley. Take it back, Stanley.
So a big collision. Stanley's really hurt himself here. Lonergan.
Get you, mate. Hand it back.
So it's a free kick to Stanley for a push in the back.
Just they're courageous players. Have a look at this, both of them. Here's the subtle push there.
Tom Lonergan, of course.
That's amazing. Amazing courage by Tom Lonergan. He's only got the one kidney. He's come back. Couldn't be any more exposed in a contest like that. That's extraordinary.
Remarkable.
How long did he take after, you know, the serious battling to get his confidence back to him?
I think the best part of 2 years. I mean, he does played with a guard for a long period of time. I don't think he plays with a guard anymore. And I think only in the past probably 2 years he's really started to not think about the fact that he's had a significant injury. But the journey that he went through post-2005, I think it was not too far to say he was within an inch of his life, the amount of blood that he lost. To even get back and play any form of sport's quite remarkable, let alone competitive sport, and then let alone do something like that.
Just been told it was a right kidney that was removed, and he was hit on that right side there. That was just so gutsy, wasn't it? Well, how big's this kick? It's a long way out, but it's bigger in terms of the context of the St Kilda season. It's not going to be the goal they want, but they're close enough now to really challenge here, aren't they?
I guess the one point is, remember, Geelong played in Perth last week, hard-forced game on the big oval ground, and, you know, Subiaco, a long travel, just maybe that it might be a factor as this game wears on.
Matty Scarlett not having a Matthew Scarlett night either. He's struggling at the moment. There's a free kick and it's going to Harry Taylor. If you think back to that Kelly miss, it's always easy to say these things, but that would have almost quelled the opposition, I would have thought. That was such a big-time goal to kick. As I said, it could come back and really harm Geelong. Not only in the short term, as the kick goes beyond the wing. In from the side, terrific Wilkes. Bo Wilkes hit the ground hard. He can take a grab. We were saying before, Tom, clean hands.
Yeah, we saw that a lot last week, and there's no better stadium to take contested marks than Eddie had. So they'd like a bit more of that.
Schneider on the run, then down towards half forward. Some indecision from Taylor. Cripps takes the mark.
Geelong have just lost their run at the moment, haven't they? When they do get the ball, they've got no ability to move it quickly, and St Kilda are just having a really good patch.
They're just sticking at it, the Saints. Full credit to them. Tonight really resembles their season so far. Sticking around, sticking around. This could be a catalyst for big things as well as a win tonight. Who knows? There goes the kick from Cripps. It's way offline. Misses to the right-hand side behind. Type 1 diabetic, that young man. Talking about bravery. It'll be tough playing AFL football from East Fremantle in Western Australia. Josh Hunt just pops it into Corey Enright. Corey Enright made his debut against the Saints on this ground, round 201, as did this man, Joel Corey. Not in the same game. He made his debut as an 18-year-old against the Saints, round 17-2000. His first opponent was Tony Delaney. There's a name. Boundary throw in.
Down memory lane a bit, Dennis.
Tony Delaney, part of the Matthew Lloyd swap deal.
He was.
Corey, Enright, those two together again. Graham's had a magnificent third quarter. Simpkin, Fisher. That's what you want from Fisher. Construction from the half-back line. Sard. He's been busy enough, Sard. Kicked a couple, given one off. Montagna.
Hold there.
Just forcing Geelong to defend at the moment. They're doing it really well, St Kilda, just controlling real possession.
And the kick for Del Santo, and he's got him. That was a great kick. Del Santo lingered in that forward pocket, and suddenly St Kilda have got their teeth right into this match.
They're putting the pressure on the Geelong back half. I mean, I must say this is the most unsure, least composed Geelong defensive 10 minutes I've seen for a long time. They've been completely outplayed.
Well, they've kicked 2 goals, 6 in this quarter, the Saints, and Del Santo's missed. Wow. He's such a skillful player. You'd expect he would have goal from there. So Lonergan, that's good to see, back on. So 2 goals the difference, but at half-time it was 11 goals 9 to 6 goals 5.
Del Santo has lifted in this term, though, up to 6 possessions now, counting down to three-quarter time. Josh Hunt with the football. 12 points the difference. Hunt out of defence then. Well short of the wing. Podsiadly comes over the top. Couldn't hang on. All the crumb is Saints. Opportunity for Graham. Goes all the way back to Gwilt. He's on the wing. Saw it nicely. Gave it to Geary. Comes back to Graham. They're combining well. Goes down towards half forward. Cripps takes the mark.
Push out, Pod. Push
Cripps.
out.
That's 70 metres out. Oh, that's in the back. No, play on's the call. Lonergan, Bartel, a lot of that coming from Geelong. Hand passes and kicks both being smothered. Down towards full forward. Lunging Wilkes. Picking up the crumb there. The only man left standing, Enright. Nerves of steel, Enright. Got it to Taylor. Taylor kicks it up towards the wing. Podsiadly coming back on the pack, and the ball is fisted out of bounds by Simpkin.
So Stevie Milne here's a free kick. Probably.
Bit of high contact in the spoil, didn't it?
Yep. McAvoy cut off by Johnson. And then Walker. Lee, just going back to halftime, Chris Scott in that interview talked about there are moments in a match where as a coach you feel like you can't do much more than a spectator. I mean, is this that one of them?
Well, I think he'd be feeling that way at the moment. He's trying to think, what can I do with the team and the positioning of the team to try and get the ascendancy back. I think it's around the middle of the ground they've got to start winning the ball, because all of a sudden St Kilda are now dominating that area around the clearances. They were in front, but now they're a long way in front.
But that's more output from those players rather than a change.
Yeah, I think he would be thinking there's no particular move at this point to change personnel.
So that's out on the Oars touch, so it'll be a boundary throw in.
Now, it's not structure at the moment, Lee. I think it's just intensity around the footy. Saints getting right on top in contested possession. That first possession, and then what they're so good at is maintaining possession when they've got it.
10 minutes since the Cats have been inside 50. That's a telling stat. Scramble after the boundary throw in. McAvoy went down. Goddard, feisty.
Leave it.
Tackled by a couple there.
Gives an idea of the way the game's going inside 50s and disposals. They've just dominated the game. They've had the ball, and what they haven't been able to do is kick accurately. 3 goals, 7 for the quarter.
Just 3 behinds to Geelong. Now a whistle, and Bartel's getting a free, or is it Duncan off the pack? Duncan wide is still. Bartel thinking it's his, but Duncan is getting the ball. He's drifted out of the game. Duncan down towards left half forward then. Hawkins, they need him up and about. Not from that kick. There's Enright inside the centre square. Comes wide to Johnson.
Hold there, Nick.
So the old heads just controlling the ball for the moment. Johnson goes looking for Kelly. Too tall, getting in behind Schneider. Juggles it. Schneider across half back. Clock is down to 3.5 in the third. Just another Friday night thriller, dare we say it. McAvoy told to play on. Doesn't have to. It's not obligatory. No one coming near him. He kicks it along the wing. Wilkes did very well. Worked in front against quality opposition. And the ball goes out of bounds.
Difference last week with Wilkes. He took 5 marks close to goal. That got him his 5 goals. He's got a few marks upfield, but hasn't been able to get him within goal-scoring distance.
Geelong without a goal in this term. They have not had a goalless term this season, so they're 3 minutes away from that at the moment. And if they have a goalless term, St Kilda will be in a winning position at three-quarter time. At least they'll have an even money bet, you reckon, because Geelong at half-time were just overwhelming favourites. I mean, none of us thought that the Saints could win at half-time, and yet right now, not quite an even money game, but not far off it. St Kilda just need another goal, you think, for all the hard work they've done. Selwood, they've been into him all night. Duncan, that's a good tackle by Wilkes. Brought him down and then tried to get it out. Kelly got in his road and then fell forward, Kelly. Good umpiring. Hayes was legged, but he did brilliantly. Goddard got it from Armitage. Well, on the ball. Advantage. Heard the call from the umpire. Now this bloke can run and carry, we know. And he gets to Hawkins. First real shot at it he's had, Hawkins, in this quarter, and that's a lovely kick. Well, they did well there, Geelong.
I was just about to say the play on the wing was indicative of what St Kilda had done so well. Then the ball came out to Brendan Goddard and got caught holding the ball. That's the end result of it. Did so much right and then just repelled with absolute precision the Cats on that occasion.
It's the first time the Geelong pressures turned the ball over pretty much for this whole quarter. It's they've been on the receiving end quite a bit.
So Taylor Hunt's had a good night, hasn't he? That was a great tackle. Yeah. Chappie's missed a couple tonight. One he tried the old J curve and another one he missed, and Paul Chapman is normally such a great goal kicker. He's had a real chance tonight to kick 3 goals, and Uncle Paulie's not having a good night in front of goal.
It's a lack of penetration, Bruce, on that kick. Obviously missed last week. I think it was with a calf. He's had history of groin problems and just looked like he lacked some real penetration on the goal.
Schneider to bring it in then. Drives it towards the outer side. Over the top, Fisher takes the mark. Nicely done. Got it at the second attempt. He's at left half back. What a character shown by the Saints tonight. We saw it last week from Geelong. So they're in the mood, both these sides, to take it right till the final siren. Del Santo up and about, up on his toes, getting involved. Had a great season last year. Second in the Brownlow. Close to the boundary line. West did well, worked his way in front. His arm was grabbed. He's going to get the free, or is it going to a teammate? I'm not sure. Now West ball.
Stand behind you, Mark Trent. Thank you.
It's against the boundary line. A minute and a half remaining in the third term. Scott waiting to come down. Loaded and cocked.
Play on.
He'd be a little angry with what he's seen in this quarter. Josh Hunt. Matthew Scarlett.
Gee, they're very much blocking. We're 2 kicks from goal, but St Kilda have got 2 extra players where Geelong want to go in their forward 50, so they're just trying to make sure there's just nothing there for Geelong.
This is where they've been dangerous. Forward, that's Lonigan going forward, and then Bartel, and then Dempster. Well, he took them on Dempster. That will be interesting. Well, he charged there, and
yeah, he put the head down, no doubt about it. Just watch here. Saw a slight gap here, there. That's holding the ball.
Of course it is. That's prior.
Took the tackle on that one.
So, benefit of the doubt. And a lucky break for the Saints this time. Hawkins doing the ruck work with McAvoy. Well done by Ray to trap it. Schneider's been an important influence in this quarter. Back to Enright, off a step. Where's Hawkins? He's coming, but well done, McAvoy in the front spot.
What a terrific mark by the big guy. McAvoy drives it towards the outer side. Harry Taylor committed. Ball spills to the back of the pack and runs away from Milne and goes out of bounds. Montagna slow to get up.
You talk about whether there have been any structural wins for St Kilda. The fact that they've been able to control so much play and win the first ball has enabled McAvoy and the like to release themselves across half-back to fill the holes.
West knocked it down. Montagna a half chance. Johnson with courage went low after the football. Collided with the legs of Goddard, and the umpire will ball it up. We're down to 13 seconds in this third term. Both sides desperate for a win, with an eye to making the 8. For both sides, really. Geelong still not assured as the ball goes towards the outer side. Well, Scarlett is really in trouble tonight. Wilkes gets the free kick, comes across the ground. Graham, there's the siren. It's a long kick, but I'd venture to say, I doubt it. Not bad. So 3/4 time on Friday Night Football. The Cats tested in that third quarter. St Kilda storming back. They put it 3 goals. Geelong didn't get a goal. 9-12 St Kilda, trailing Geelong 11-13. It's the Cats by 13. Cats on top. 11-13 goalless in that quarter, and St Kilda the 9-12. 79 plays 66. Chris Scott wasn't too happy at 3/4 time. Tommy Hawkins, well, he started brilliantly, but still on the 4 goals. James Kelly, 20 possessions, but a costly blue in that quarter. And you can understand that, I think, Luke. I mean, reason to be unhappy because they seem to have the game at their mercy at halftime.
Yeah, you're right. And as you said, they expect so much from the Geelong side, and to get out-hunted, outplayed in that third quarter, you can see is very fired up.
So what did the Saints do in that third quarter?
I think, well, first of all, they made the change. Kazitzi come off, Snyder come on, gave him a little bit more run, and then their senior guys come back into the game. You got Montagna, you got Del Santo, Goddard pushed forward and kicked a goal. And then on the flip side, they made Geelong's midfielders found it hard to get the ball. I think Bartel's had 10, Selwood's had 11, Joel Corey's had 11 as well. So they've been able to keep the ball out of their hands.
And just getting back to the Cats for a moment, I mean, what do they need to do now? What was the message from Chris Scott in that huddle?
I think that we know Geelong is when the game's on the line, their senior guys step up. And
well, you do. Hawthorn do.
The blokes I just mentioned, they have had a quiet night, but I expect them to be the first ones in, getting the ball out and giving Tommy Hawkins a chance to kick a few more goals.
There's no doubt about Friday night, is there?
It's an entertaining night.
Bruce?
Big
injury concerns for St Kilda. The last 10 minutes of that quarter, Reece Stanley was down in the room, so been worried about his left ribs. He's been having a little bit of trouble breathing. He hasn't reappeared up here at three-quarter time. So the Saints are currently one man down on rotations that they're obviously going to need in this last quarter. The Cats have also made their sub. Joel Corey is off and Simpkin has come on.
Well, I think we all reckon the first goal here will make a huge difference. St Kilda playing for their season, maybe Geelong as well. And the Saints have given themselves a hope. Graham had 13 disposals in that third quarter. So he went from 12 for the match to 25. Del Santo had a better third quarter. Montagna got busy. Gilbert had 9. So much of the ball. So Del Santo, he's averaged 31 against the Cats in his last 4. Bartel's been quietish tonight. It's his 11th disposal. Taylor Hunt's been terrific. That's a great tackle. Schneider's been important, hasn't he?
Well, it's not often, Bruce, that a sub comes on and so much is expected of him. Obviously, Kazitsky was not contributing, and Schneider's been fantastic since he's come on. 6 disposals in that quarter and just injected some real energy around the ball.
He, like Dempster, played in 5 grand finals, Schneider. Swans, and then, of course, a couple there, and then with the Saints with that drawn run. So Hayes kicks to centre half forward. Goddard tried to make the contest. Milne, clever. Montagna, good tackle by Kelly. And then back to Hunt from Taylor. Duncan arched his back. He had a terrific first half, Duncan. So Simpkin on the ground. So the brothers are out there. Well done. Dempster nearly well done. Didn't in the end. Hawkins releases Motlop. Motlop to Chapman. Dempster's got him. Good call by the ump.
A good follow-up, because you won't want to look at that one again there, Sean Dempster, but they bounced straight back up and affected the tackle.
There's the bounce inside the 50. McAvoy knocks it down, caught one, I think, on the nose as well. Spills out of the pack. Taken now after a hand pass from Stokes. Chapman went to ground. Opportunity for Scarlett. Gave it to Kelly on the overlap as Enright, 55 metres out. Enright's kick is going goalward, just missed. That was nicely worked. Created some space, got some run. It's still goalless in the second half. Oh, that was a dangerous kick. Dempster stood his ground, took it. Del Santo, Luke was talking about him, comes out to Goddard.
So Goddard, good kick. Montagna busy second half, running away from Kelly. So Geelong no goals for 34 minutes. St Kilda no goals for 17 minutes. So been a long time for either. Milne's been terrific. He's kicked 4. He's clever. He gets to 50. He kicks it low and hard and long and hits the post, Stevie does. He is unique, Milne. There's only ever been one Stevie Milne play the game. He's an absolute serial pest at times, but God, can he play.
He's got such life. I mean, I reckon he plays a lot like a small full forward, but he also knows when it's his turn to crumb and not mark. He's got the great ability to make the right choices there.
It's like a piranha in a bidet. He's very dangerous. As the ball goes out of bounds, we'll have a throw in at left half forward. We've seen that move before, running up to the man on the mark and then skirting him, but Josh Hunt obviously doesn't watch a lot of it. Boundary throw in. Knocked down by Wilkes falling to the ground. Selwood dispossessed. Kelly, who's played a wonderful game with 1 or 2 blemishes, kicked forward by Johnson, and the mark is taken by Fisher. Looks across the ground, breaking is Ray. He'll take the mark at centre half back, continue his run. Schneider is on. He'll get it now. Schneider, he'll cut inside on his left foot. No, he goes wider still. Got the wisdom of that. They've got 1-on-1 up ahead. Geelong getting some numbers back. Sard on the lead. Sard takes the mark.
Really good build-up there. Found Ray's been important in the second half, and he's using the ball exceptionally well, and a great transfer of play by the Saints. Get another good look. Just watch him. Measures his run out perfectly here. Sard will walk in, as we've said before, and take 3 strides and kick the ball.
He's about 40 metres for the man on the mark. He'd be lucky to kick it to the man on the mark from where he's standing.
What's the build-up here?
It is.
When he's on the way in, that's it.
That's amazing, isn't it?
Gonna have to look at this.
It works, Dennis, it works.
I'll say. He's a good young player, isn't he?
Well, he's got temperament to match, hasn't he?
Yeah, just the sort of player they needed. I mean, he brings that speed on the forward line, makes him dangerous, and it's a great 1-2 punch with Milne. You see them there. And between them, they've got 7 goals tonight. 7 of 10.
So who taught him this? I mean, how did this come about, you wonder?
It's a good question, but works. It's very consistent.
Works for him.
Clearly has a routine. The other thing he does remarkably is hold the ball dead straight. He doesn't wave it around, so great technique.
Well, he's missed 1 set shot this year, so Stephen out of the centre. It's a 7-point game. We know it's an 8-point game, really. Sard, Schneider will kick it, and the Saints are within a point. Gee, Schneider coming on at half-time, just after half-time was a good idea. We thought he probably should have come on at half-time, but they waited 5 minutes. Right now, they're probably favourites. For the first time, I mean, you can't believe this, can you? And it's their small forwards. It's Sard, it's Milne, it's Schneider. Geelong not good in clearances all year. They're going to have to be good in clearances out of the centre in this last quarter now.
Rucks go at it, back in the middle.
Well, the ground level speed, that's got him their goals. Schneider's now added to the mix of Sard and Milne.
And now the live action. Stokes. Duncan. They've got to find something here, the Cats. They've been dreadfully quiet since half-time. It falls from Podsiadly's hands to Hawkins, who kicks his 5th. Well, it's taken a while. That is their first goal of the second half. And Tom Hawkins cast in the role of a crummer right there. So they're back to a 7-point lead.
Well, we see this long kick come in. You see Sam Fisher came off his man, Tommy Hawkins, but had absolutely no impact on the contest. Gets killed because Hawkins crumbs it and kicks the goal.
38 minutes between goals for the Cats tonight. What an important blow struck there by Hawkins with help from Podsiadly. Armitage gets it forward. Wilkes on the left foot. Kicks to the pocket. Doesn't really give Milne a crack at it. It was a poor kick. And Hunt gets back to take the mark. But I'll tell you what, every time Geelong go forward, they're just going to bang it long now, aren't they? Because Hawkins and Podsiadly are their big hopes forward.
We could tell then that Fisher was afraid that he was going to make front-on contact with Podsiadly, so he, in fact, wasn't able to influence at all, as Richo said.
Now that the dam wall may have just opened a bit for the Cats, they may get some flow, but they have been completely outplayed in the second half. But that Hawkins' 5th goal gives them a little bit of breathing space. No free kick. Graham's been outstanding. That's a dangerous kick, but it's a good mark.
Good.
Gee, Dempster might have missed a mark he should have taken early in this quarter. Has taken 2 really good hand marks in this last quarter.
He's as brave as they come. 2 terrific marks. The Simpkin mark also was exactly what they need to do when the ball comes in long from Geelong's point of view to Hawkins. Need to work off that third man.
McAvoy drives it towards half forward. That was terrific by Enright. He was on a man back towards the middle, realised where the kick was coming, peeled off. A lot of experience in that move, and he gets it out of bounds. 86 plays 79. Another thriller on Friday Night Football. McAvoy, I think, will get the free. That's not 50 because McAvoy slow to get up. Wow, you can see why.
Blood rule. Blood rule. Hold. Good boy, thanks.
So McAvoy, not far to go. He's gripping across the boundary.
The one thing we've got to remember here, guys, is that Stanley still has not come back up from the rooms. They've been one man down for 15 minutes now, and it could take a toll on the Saints late in this game.
Didn't hurt North Melbourne last week. Remember that as the ball comes forward. Going in solidly as Kelly. Wrestled to the ground about 15 metres out, and the umpire will ball it up.
I think its ruck work will be volunteer at the moment. Looking for the tallest players. They'll just be making do with Will.
It's come to that. Walker and Wilkes, they're doing it alphabetically. Out of the pack, Del Santo, Bartel did pretty well. Simpkin wide, but to no one in particular. Hayes, that ball's out of bounds, surely. He got it back from Dempster, a belated whistle and a boundary throw-in.
We'll get a bit of a look here who's going to do the ruck work. It has to be Wilkes or
it's more question if they go back to the centre bounce, who's going to go in and do it while they're repairing McAvoy's stopping the bleeding.
Love to bring
bandage on.
Love to bring Cozzy on just for 5 minutes now.
Yeah.
Well played, Johnson, creating and then asking a bit of Duncan. Duncan did okay. Ray, now how can he deliver? Running bounce, Motlop to put the pressure. Well played, Motlop. That was good stuff. It was a poor kick by Ray. Scarlett releases Chapman. Chapman on the left. Good kick to Simpkin. So this is Jonathan, the older of the two brothers, but least experienced, and that's a good kick inside to Murdoch. So a couple of their least experienced players combining there after a couple of their most experienced players set up, Scarlett and Chapman. Well, he kicked a big goal, didn't he, last week against the Eagles? This is even bigger, I reckon. This to give the Cats, you'd think, some real breathing space after being challenged so strongly. He's a good kick. He struck it really well. He's a good kid, isn't he? He's a likely Colt Murdoch.
Well, it's a good response, isn't it? Geelong finding something with their backs to the wall.
They might have found something there too, Dennis.
I reckon.
They dropped, I mean, they made 5 changes tonight, but he stayed in.
Fair to say both these sides are trying to reboot on the run. Saad, a youngster. Murdoch, a youngster. Quality youngsters coming through.
Hasn't the psychology of the game changed as soon as St Kilda got on terms? All of a sudden, St Kilda think, oh, maybe there's a win here. They get a bit tight, but Geelong have found a bit.
Selwood feeds it back to Murdoch, to Kelly, to Bartel, inside the centre square, swings it out wide. Stokes is marked in front of the wing, looks down towards half forward, ambitious kick, and the mark is taken nicely in the fingertips there by Dempster. Not sure that was the right spot. Looking for Motlop, who had no break on Dempster. Now it's with Armitage, goes for distance. He had no one to kick to. Lonergan coming across on the angle did well. Lonergan wants it out of bounds and he gets it there.
We see it time and time again when clubs come from a long way back and just work so hard to get just within 1 or 2 points and never really quite get on top. So that's the challenge for the Saints. Need a couple of quick goals.
Selwood at the base of the pack. 2 wonderful players go body on body. Hayes and Selwood. Spills in front and spills out of bounds in effect. Montagna just watching it across the line. So the umpire, the boundary umpire, will do it again. Selwood and Hayes. In front, McAvoy. West reaches over the top. Hayes had it, lost it. Geary gets through the pack, advances the ball towards half forward. Ricochets back in the direction of Graham. Good tackle by Lonergan. In goes Gilbert. Couldn't find a way through. Sard. He's taken to ground by Bartel. Umpire lets them play. We'll have a ball up.
Plays so many great last quarters, doesn't he, Jimmy Bartel? Quiet night, but building here.
For Bartel, Selwood, Johnson, they always seem to find something in these tight last quarters.
Gilbert, third man up. Hayes got down low, heard the umpy. Sard did well. Enright all on to him, though, and that ball still in dispute, and a ball up. Selwood's had a target on his back, though, tonight from the Saints, hasn't he? They have been onto him. How many disposals for Selwood?
So the 12 tonight.
Just 12.
7 of those contested. No doubt there's been a team focus by the Saints to try and get under his skin.
Armitage and Chapman, so Armitage not going anywhere with Chappie. And a ball
Sorry,
up.
boys.
Just need to get on the move here, whether it's Milne or Sard or Schneider. Just get on the burst. Stevens in around the 2 for the Saints.
Saints need a goal out of all this. Hayes was the third man up. Selwood.
Here. Throw him to the ground.
So again, they're coming back. But again, St Kilda really physical with Selwood, as they've been all night.
So 13 possessions coming up, the same as Bartel. Bartel in his last 3 games, all under 20. Here's Chapman. Short to Enright. He flirts with the idea of going. Runs wide of the mark. He just makes his own arrangements. Out of the back pocket, kicks it up towards the wing. Johnson. Never afraid to lead is Steve Johnson.
That's 50 from behind the mark.
Sard.
Well, it was the similar one that St Kilda got in the first quarter that got them the goal, where the player came from behind through that protected area to man the mark.
Shake of the head from Scott Waters. Johnson with a footy then drives it inside the forward 50. Up goes Hawkins. Lurking behind is Taylor. Bounces away from him and his marksman Gwilt.
Taylor going forward for the Cats to stretch the Saints defence. Gwilt going to him at the moment.
So a boundary throw in. McAvoy very conscious of Walker. They fought a draw that time. It falls to Goddard. Just a high ball right on the 50. They battle for it in front. Mackie will win a free kick. Now he's capable of going very close from here.
Arms around the hole. Thanks, guys. 5 metres.
Just the hold.
Bit hard to argue.
He's almost got to get the man on the mark, Mackie, doesn't he? Go back and just pretend he's running off half back towards half forward and just unload.
Huge kick this one for both clubs. Man on the mark came at him. Mackie's kick is on the way. Has it got the carry? They're shaking the post down there. I'm shaking it, boss. It's a goal.
And Lee, that's exactly what he did, I reckon. If you watch his run-up, it was just exactly as he wound himself up there, Mackie, as if he was on the burst.
Is that a report too for shaking the post? I think it is. Tom, you'd know as an old defender.
It was back in the day. I reckon it was Dustin Fletcher who might have been involved in one of the post-shaking incidents.
He's kicked a few goals lately, Mackie. 5 goals in his last 5 matches. So here's the live ladder. You can see Geelong pushing up to West Coast, and you can see where St Kilda are now in desperate straits, aren't they?
It's curtains for St Kilda tonight if they can't get across the line. And again, when they got close, the whole psychology of the game had changed. Geelong found something, St Kilda tightened up.
Duncan held up. So the Saints have got one last chance, you reckon, and that's to stop. Gee, that was a good play by Bartel. I mean, the tackle was so strong, and yet he hurled up. And then Mackie's kick. Goddard, little handball, under pressure. Simpkin, Motlop. Well, that's a clever kick to the centre-half forward area, but the Saints had the numbers, but it was to the right spot. Ray, slow kick, cut off by Murdoch. He's had a really good night, Murdoch. He's played 5 of the last 8 games, and you feel like he might play finals footy. I mean, right now you feel like he's in the best 22 for Geelong.
He adds that speed that the Cats have been trying to inject over the past year or so. Uses the ball really well, wins his own footy. Looks a very likely type.
He's not the same as Varco, but he's providing a little bit of speed right now that they've been looking for all year, haven't they? And Varco, not sure if he'll come back, Varco, but there is some chance.
They're playing in the VFL tomorrow is the word from Kardinia Park.
19 points the margin. Boundary throw in. Just outside the attacking 50 for the Cats. McAvoy should win this, and he does decisively down in front. Del Santo moves at about 10 metres. Cripps was tackled, jarred out of there. Taken by Hayes, who came back to Montagna. A searching kick towards half forward, body to body. Josh Hunt was too strong to Scarlett. Oh, terrible kick by Scarlett. At one of those nights, Bartel goes all the way back. Hunt, Scarlett, can he make amends here? Goes for distance, down towards half forward. It's a 2-on-1. Podsiadly reaching over the top, knocked it down. Hayes to Goddard, centering kick. Geary inside the back end of the centre square. To his feet quickly, to space. That's an intelligent kick. Awkward bounce though. Cripps put a boot in there, retrieved the situation pretty well. He's tackled down by Murdoch. Bartel's got it. Ray's got him. Ball comes out. Opportunity for Geary, who kicked it to the spot. He's tackled. And we'll have a ball up. Well done by Cripps. He got an unkind bounce, kept going, and really extricated that ball just with the deftness of his right foot.
Spot on, Dennis. Great call. He did a really good job against all the odds there. Well, Saints have just got to get the next goal. If they do, they're a chance. McAvoy cut off by Johnson. Johnson wide to Podsiadly. Good mark. He worked hard, Pods. What a remarkable career he's had. It's been an amazing story. He's a low, burning ball. Fisher front spot. Hawkins to try and worry him. Del Santo. Back to Goddard. Goddard 24 disposals. 23 now for Hayes. So they're building those two great players. Kick by Hayes. Oh, well done, Enright. Schneider did everything right. Used his body, but Enright was able to stretch himself. And Boris took a beauty. Finds Murdoch.
He's a good player, Corey Enright. Wonderful concentration moments ago. Here's Murdoch. Emerging talent. Not a good kick, though. Close to the boundary. It takes a bounce, but across the line. So Saints ball on the full. Sam Fisher. Scott Waters works the phone. Poor kick. Duncan on the end of it. Waits, gives it to Simpkin, pops it over the top. Mark is taken by Hawkins. Needs to settle. Needs to go back like the big man he's become and put it through for the 6th goal of his tonight, and maybe put down the resistance from the Saints.
That's a skill error by Geary, but it's the right decision. You're behind, it's getting late in the game. You've got to come back through the centre corridor, and when he missed the target, well, Geelong were able to get it on the rebound, but you've got to have a go, as he did.
Playing his 20th game here at the Dome. So far, he's kicked 38 goals. That says something about his early struggles, as well as the way he's mastered those struggles and come to terms with kicking goals. He's got 6, equals his career high.
Well, third time he's kicked 6 in a match. And he's actually not that far away from Matthew Pavlich and a couple of other blokes in terms of the Coleman medal. We'll have a look at it in a moment, but Geelong's seemingly safe now. Lee's talked about the psychology of all of this. I mean, Saints get almost, well, they got within a point, and then suddenly Geelong freed up a bit, got going, and they've been able to run away.
And here's the mark here, uncontested. Only a really fleeting look before he goes back and kicks it. I think time's gone by, he might have passed it off. And there's the Coleman, so he's certainly within striking distance, no doubt about that. Tom Hawkins.
Stevie Milne on 50 was just the next man down, so huge contribution. So the Coleman medal with Buddy Franklin coming back this weekend. Pavlich, of course, in great form. Petrie's been going great guns, but this man, no one's hotter than him right now in terms of a big forward. 6 goals for the 3rd time this season and in his career. West wins the tap. Selwood to Stokes. Simpkin's been good. Selwood to Motlop, running in, should kick a goal, and he does. They're a funny team, Geelong. They are great to watch, but there are 2 Geelongs. When I say that, I mean this season there have been 2 Geelongs all year, I reckon. There's been the good Geelong Den and there's been the
bad Geelong, Bruce. And we've seen them both tonight.
Well, that's right.
And they do often come out on the same night, those Cats.
Oh, you're right. When they're good, they're good, and when they're not so good, they're not so good.
Mae West.
It's been really efficient. That's 5 goals now from the last 6 entries and 110 points. You'd think they're home now.
It's a cruel game, isn't it? At three-quarter time, Nick Riewoldt and his coach were feeling buoyant. They were back in it. They were surging. They had momentum. And it's been taken away from them. Cripps goes deeper to attack. It bounces out of bounds in the pocket.
So who does this give hope to, I wonder? Essendon's and Carlton's. And
Well, you think from St Kilda's point of view, it's just there's one less, but are really in finals contention now.
Looking at that group, they don't need Nick so much as they need the Incredible Hulk. Sitting in the corner, in the darkness, looking glum, Eric Banner. And we've got this bounce about 15 metres out.
You do see it time and time again when sides come from a long way back, work so hard to get. They'll just rue those missed opportunities in the third quarter. Too many behinds.
McAvoy, very conscious of West, who reaches over the top and won it. Going back into the pack, Duncan did well. West trying to crash his way through, got boot to ball, tracking it towards the pocket. The hand pass came from Graham. He snapped from Goddard. Off target, he was under pressure and puts it through for a minor score. So it seems the Saints' challenge is over. They'll be anchored on 40 points after this game, and it's simply too hard.
it's been a bit like their season, hasn't it? I mean, they've been pretty good. I think they've only won 2 out of 9 against the top 8 teams. So they've just been a little bit below the very best. And tonight, Geelong at times have played like the very best, and other times have played like a pretty ordinary unit in that third quarter. But it's a good lead now. Podgielli drops the mark in the centre. Walker, long ball forward. Chapman outnumbered. Good fly by Geary at the back. Mackie uses Selwood. Selwood's got busy in this last quarter. Good kick. Stokes has been a good player tonight. He's kicked over 150 goals, Stokes, in the last 5 seasons. So he's also averaged 30-odd goals a year now. He's not going to get that return this year, but I reckon in the last 5 or 6 weeks, he started to build, and he'll be a very important player come September. Chapman got the handball from Stokes. Does he go all the way, Chappie? No, he's kicked a few behinds tonight. Chapman, I think 4 in total. So he's just been a bit off the ball, Chappie.
The other thing about St Kilda this year, they've had 4 close games, under 10-point margin, lost them all. That ability to actually win the close games as opposed to lose an enormous difference in your season.
McAvoy will get a free kick. Unrealistic jump from behind. So McAvoy, just in the centre square, as you can see, comes back to Goddard. Goddard towards half forward. Geary, who started very well. Back to Goddard. Goddard, terrible kick. His kicking has been ineffective at times this season. Saad, well, interesting the way he got rid of it. Bartel timed the release brilliantly. Murdoch comes away, goes to half forward, Podgiadli. They were so spirited in the third term, the Saints, but they're running now on empty. In front, Hawkins, well played. Gwilt in his hip pocket. Picked it eventually, goes to the outer side, and Schneider.
Done well, Schneider, since he's come on. That's not a great handball to Armitage. Bartel, Mackie, Selwood. So many of their premiership players have played great last quarters. This guy hasn't played in the premiership, Murdoch, but he's been important. And Goddard takes the mark. Big numbers for Goddard tonight, pushing up towards 30. Graham, what a prolific third quarter he had. Stephen, out wide. Gilbert had 9 disposals in that third quarter. Jack Stephen, just the 13 for him tonight, so he's down as well. Wilkes hasn't been able to trouble the scoreboard tonight. Schneider was short, but he's going to have a shot. No, he's not going to have a shot. Well, that was not all that well thought out in the end. Kelly. Seems a long time ago that Kelly handballed the ball when he was 20 metres out from goal, doesn't it?
Yeah, all is forgiven. Taylor goes forward. Seems a long time ago, too, when Taylor Hunt booted those early goals. But they got the start they wanted. The Saints then had to claw their way back. Almost climbed the mountain, but then Geelong have skipped away. Stokes, clever. Podsiadly deep in the pocket. Fancies himself. Podsiadly runs around and kicks his second.
Well, he's kicked a couple. He deserves a Podsiadly. I reckon he's played a really good role with Hawkins tonight again.
And Simpkins has been good since he's came off the substitute. He's had a good last quarter as well, just to join in when they needed a bit of energy.
What about Stokes' influence tonight?
Yeah, he's been good tonight. He's had the 22 disposals, and there's still spots up for grabs. I think that's part of the exciting thing when you get towards the finals, is who's going to jock into which position. Alan Christensen's not playing tonight. I think he's in their best 22, and whether Varco can get up. But Stokesy certainly had a solid night tonight. And Podsiadly does play that role. We saw a couple of weeks ago against Hawthorn, I should say, and kept Gibson accountable. As we see, Tom Simpkin getting a bit of work on his neck there.
So this is the biggest margin of the night, believe it or not, after all that work by St Kilda in the third quarter and early in this last quarter. They have now conceded the biggest margin of the night. Goddard originally got the handball out. They've kept a pretty good watch on Del Santo all night, haven't they? He's been a thorn. What about Scotty Wattersley? I mean, Brendan Sanderson and Nathan Buckley have been outstanding first-year coach. How have you seen his performance?
He's been a good spokesman for the club. You never quite know the coach, but St Kilda won 12 games last year. They may still win 12 games this year. So you could say they've been similar in terms of win-loss.
You feel like they're a bit more attractive this year? They've scored more heavily,
well,
maybe I'm wrong.
A percentage of 120, so they've actually had a couple of big wins on their good nights.
He's played some important minutes too late in the game. The sub. Jonathan Simpkin, there's the bounce, hooked over the back. Stokes liked his game tonight. Kicks down towards half forward. Fisted away by Graham, who hurt himself. As a result, Chapman's got free. Chapman will take this mark. Graham tried to go with him. You could see Graham just crouching in the foreground there momentarily. Hurt a shoulder or an elbow. And Chapman showed no compassion. He simply took off, as you would.
There's good vision there by Motlop. Just saw him just glance inside. They're one of those players naturally has his head on a swivel and found the space to Chapman.
So Chappie, his kicking hasn't been his best feature tonight, but this is a beauty. Steers it through, and suddenly it's the Cats in a canter.
You think if they'd got over West Coast last week, you know how desperately close, they may have still been a top 4 chance. Geelong, they needed that win last week. They're not going to be top 4, but I don't know, you just feel that they could still maybe win the flag from outside the top 4? Is it possible, Lee?
No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't think they're going well enough to win 4 games in a row. That would be my view. What they've done in this last quarter is cut through. They've had 12 inside 50 entries for 7 goals. So they've just had a magnificent conversion of opportunities as this game's gone on.
One big thing for Geelong, if they finish top 6, they probably won't go to Perth, which will be pretty important for them. So this is a massive win for them tonight. They've got the Bulldogs next week, and then they've got Sydney at home. So they're on good position to finish in the top 6. Simpkin has been good in this last quarter, pushing forward. Podsiadly's made a good contribution. Graham's been a good player. Dempsey having maybe his best season. So one Swan Premiership player to another in Schneider. They've both been good pickups for the Saints. Schneider off a step. He's been missed this year, Schneider. Armitage running and breaking a line, and that's a very, very sloppy handball to Graham. Again, a bit sloppy, but he was under the pump. Hayes over the top. Milne, could he twist and turn? Well, he ducked into it, and I think it was good umpiring. Hayes to work it back. Left foot by Hayes, touched by Scarlett, and it's a behind, and that's it. Hawkins 6 again tonight. And Geelong in the end, believe it or not, after being just a point in front of this last quarter, win by 7 goals. A big win on a Friday night. And the Saints, maybe that's all for 2012. So Graham played his heart out. Milne kicked his 4. Kelly was good. Had a lot of the ball. 27 disposals. Let's go down to you, Richo.
Thanks, Bruce. Well, Tommy, another 6 goals. Made a good, solid win in the end, but they did challenge you late in that third quarter.
Yeah, they were really good in the third. Obviously, we know what they've got to play for. So, yeah, it was a really hard-fought contest, and I think we'll be pretty happy with the way we finished the game out.
Obviously, no troubles made early in the game. You started the game strongly, no ill effects at all.
Yeah, no, I felt really good after last week. Like about half-time of the game, I came to it pretty quick, and I was pretty lucky. No headaches or anything. So, yeah, I felt really good.
Did you train at all during the week?
Yeah, I did a little bit of stuff, just a bit of running around and lighten the load, but it was, yeah, I still did enough, and yeah, got up. So.
And 6 straight again, mate. The kicking continues.
Yeah, I know. I don't know. It's just it's all coming together. So hopefully I don't put the jinx on myself and kick none 6 next week. So anyway, we'll see how we go. It's going on nice.
Oh, you'll be right. Well done.
Cheers. Thanks, Richo.
What about his 3 weeks on a Friday night? 6. The winning kick against Hawthorn, knocked out last week against the Eagles, and 6 again tonight. He's had 3 very interesting Friday nights, hasn't he?
It's interesting. All of a sudden, I mean, Geelong in this premiership window really haven't depended on one player to kick a lot of goals, but all of a sudden, just now, they look like they need Hawkins to have a really good night to be able to generate a big score. And again, the way they cut through that, when the game opened up, they just cut through the St.Kilda defence.
Down to you again, Richo.
Well, Stevie, one thing I want to ask you first, that shot at goal that you had where you took the one step, you had a chat to the umpire. What was his explanation to you?
Oh, he said that he called play on, and yeah, I was a bit bewildered, actually. I thought I'd have time. I've never had blokes close me down that quickly. Usually you've got enough time to take 1 or 2 steps, but yeah, I was a bit slow.
But it's coming together nicely. You've got your last 2 games at Skilled and a lot of experience back in tonight. Things are looking okay. Yeah, we are. We've been playing well for probably 5 or 6 weeks, and yeah, we're just got to keep working on our game, keep improving, and who knows, we could give it a tilt. What do you think you need? You're probably going to have to win 4 in a row. What do you got to improve to be able to do that in September? Oh, I don't think we've really played 4 quarters to be so far this year. We've played in bits and pieces, and we probably played our best quarter of footy against the Hawks. We showed we're good enough, but haven't put it all together for 4 quarters. So I think if we can do that, there'll be some improvement in our game. Thank you. Thanks, Richo.
Richo, can you hear me? Ask Stevie, just grab him, he might get away. Just ask him, will he change his setup now because of what happened tonight in terms of having a shot for goal? See if you can catch him, Richo.
Trying to catch him. So, Stevie, Bruce wants to know, will you change your setup with the kicking at goal after what happens tonight?
From the angle, no, I'll just make sure they're more than 5 metres, Bruce.
There you go. There's your answer, Bruce.
Thanks for that. No, I'm interested.
What I was interested in when we might have a look at it again in the post-game potentially, but where was the 5 metres from? Was it where he was standing or what he thought was the line of the goal, which was a step inboard?
Well, I think the only interpretation was where he started standing from, because it was certainly within 5 metres from where the mark was. So it's a valid point whether he would change the way he goes about it. Quite clearly no, but I think all opposition clubs around would have looked at that footage and said, let's push the boundaries a little bit, at least make the umpire make a decision.
Yeah.
Well, they were onto it straight away, the Saints, weren't they?
Absolutely.
It's a bit like a couple of years ago how Collingwood was so successful at mining the mark. Harry O'Brien had come across and let Heath Shaw play on by blocking them up. But this is a great effort by Geelong again tonight. I mean, here's a team that 5 weeks ago, they looked in real danger of not making the 8. They had a terribly tough draw. And, OK, they didn't beat West Coast last week, but they've
had a good month, though, haven't they?
They've had a great
good month.
And I just feel like they're going to come into the finals with a full steam ahead. Let's hear what sort of gusto they put into the Geelong song tonight. A few smiles, they're happy.